The fat kid awakened his talent for the first time. He actually whipped out his phone and told people to call him Daddy. Someone in the class chat really did. Because he'd awakened an S-rank talent, the Book of Wishes. Pray to the Wish Lord, and any wish could be granted. But with Lin Luo's arrival, everything that kid had was fated to become his. Lin Luo's talent was an upgradable one, Plunder. Kill the target, and their talent becomes his to wield. Earlier in life, Lin Luo discovered by chance, if he killed without using a talent, he could directly steal the victim's talent level. His stubborn brother never approved of that path. The result, his brother was framed and murdered, spending his life to buy Lin Luo a chance to live. Not long after, Lin Luo nearly met the same fate. When he woke again, he was back on the day of awakening. He remembered a stone steel falling from the sky. The entire nation entered the Age of Awakenings. S-rankers gained talent avatars that could rival gods. In that surging era, those consumed by evil were no longer restrained. Thus, weakness became the greatest sin. Given a second life, Lin Luo vowed to burn sinners as fuel and seize the throne of invincibility. His first target, the company's supervisor who'd crushed him for years, Wang Jichao. After awakening, that scum turned demonic, forcing women into prostitution and harvesting organs to farm upgrade resources. Back then, Lin Luo punched him in anger and spent 10 days locked up by the inspectors, missing the crucial window to awaken and level. Things only shifted when his foster brother Zhou Shengdong out of prison and, with his A-rank talent, kept Lin Luo under his wing. Lin Luo then stocked up on tools at a hardware store. He hid in a restroom stall, waiting in silence for the awakening. Soon, plunder surfaced in him as expected. With memories from a past life, he was sure he could max it faster than anyone. Before long, a chance to take revenge on Wang Zikro presented itself. Lin Luo drew a length of rope and slipped it over Wang Jichao's neck without the slightest hesitation, even though his S-rank avatar rushed to heal him at once. It couldn't drag him back from the brink of death. The noose tightened. The air seemed to squeeze in on itself. Before long, Wang Zikro finally stopped breathing. When it was over, Lin Luo exhaled and let out a long, steady breath. In that instant, the plunder talent leapt from A-rank straight to S-rank. He wasted no time calling forth his avatar. What appeared was a melee top-tier avatar, the Black Emperor. The Black Emperor's strength, agility, and vitality maxed out the charts, and whenever it dealt damage, it could randomly siphon 1/5 of the enemy's attribute values. Its only drawback, near-zero intelligence. It needed the host to steer it with mental commands. After the Black Emperor cleaned up Wang Jichao's body, Lin Luo had no fear of the murder being traced back to him immediately. It would take investigators at least a month to get hot on his trail. By then, he'd be untouchable. On the way back, he checked the class chat and saw that Lu Ming, that fat creep, had also awakened an S-rank talent, the Book of Wishes. In the last life, after his awakening, Lu Ming got tangled up with the class beauty Fong Mengchu, ruined a bunch of girls, and even joined the criminal outfit known as the Smile Coffin. Right now, in some hotel room, Lu Ming wasn't satisfied with just being called Daddy. He made a wish on the Book of Wishes. He wanted Fong Mengchu, body and soul. No sooner had he spoken than the Wish Lord replied, "Master, your wish has been granted." Lu Ming immediately started testing it, watching Fong Mengchu obey his every demand without question. He hooped. The Wish Lord is insane. Lin Luo then called Lu Ming, claiming he had a secret about an S-rank avatar that could only be revealed in person. Perhaps drunk on the goddess's favor, Lu Ming didn't hesitate and blurted out his address. No sooner had he hung up than he flashed a wicked grin. First the S-rank secret, then the goddess. Perfect timing. Not long after, Lin Luo stepped into the room. Lu Ming couldn't wait and blurted out, asking what the S-rank secret was. Lin Luo leaned close to his ear and whispered 4 words, "Jianai Tai Mei." In that very instant, the Black Emperor appeared in silence. Before Lu Ming could even react, the Black Emperor's strike was already done. With a thunderous crash, it slammed him hard against the wall. Watching Lu Ming lifeless on the ground, Lin Luo calmly triggered the plunder skill. As the Book of Wishes transformed into his own talent, every attribute and effect radiated overwhelming power. Then, at Lin Luo's command, a figure slowly emerged. "My great master, the Wish Lord answers your call." To Lin Luo's surprise, the Wish Lord could actually communicate with him. It turned out the Wish Lord was a functional type avatar, capable of granting virtually any wish, but the harder the wish, the greater the cost. For example, winning a lottery jackpot required less energy than conjuring a bottle of water out of thin air. And when used on humans, it depended on their willpower and overall strength. Lin Luo immediately asked, "How much energy would it take to get my brother out of the inspector's custody?" The Wish Lord replied, "It would cost all of its energy, forcing it into dormancy. At best, it could only accelerate his release." Clearly, wishes had to follow logic. The best use for now was to gather intel on other S-rank powerhouses. Meanwhile, the Black Emperor had already disposed of Lu Ming's corpse. Yet Lin Luo noticed something startling. A clock had appeared on its chest, something that, in his memory, the Black Emperor had never possessed. So Lin Luo asked the Wish Lord how much it knew about avatars, and the answer was clear. Avatars are tied directly to their hosts. Since there were no immediate clues, the priority was to grow stronger. With enough power, no mystery would remain unsolved. As he left the room, not far away, Fong Mingche was cursing under her breath. "Why the hell did I send so many disgusting messages to that fat creep? And even come here to meet him?" Meanwhile, inside a towering skyscraper, Yu Taijia, who had awakened a 3S rank talent, was demanding answers from his avatar, the King of Time. Why did the time travel drop me 2.5 weeks later than planned? After all, triggering the temporal jump had nearly drained the King of Time of all its energy. If not for running into the despair-inducing, illogical clan within the space rift. As the guardian of Huaxia, he should have been able to stride across worlds with his temporal power. The thought made Yu Taijia slam his fist into the desk in rage. The King of Time explained that during the crossing, part of its power had been stolen by some unknown presence. And because the white clock was lost, it could still sense that stolen power lurking somewhere out there. Hearing this, Yu Taijia realized anyone capable of stripping the King of Time's strength must be extraordinarily powerful. So he resolved to build his power first, then hunt the thief down. He wanted to see for himself who dared steal from Yu Taijia. At that moment, at the dungeon entrance, a safety officer was stressing again and again just how dangerous the run would be. The crowd was fired up, but not a single person dared to be the first to step in. Lin Luo, however, walked straight into the portal without hesitation. The dungeons that once made him retreat. Now he would trample them all beneath his feet. As the prompt rang out, his body was digitized. He was faced with the choice of 6 basic classes. In his previous life, he had chosen warrior. But before the second advancement, that class was painfully mediocre. So Lin Luo summoned the Wish Lord and asked which class it recommended. The Wish Lord's answer was Mage. 2 centuries later, thanks to its S-rank talent beacon, Mage could advance into the hidden class Prophet Mage, and with the Black Emperor covering its melee weakness, the combo was flawless. So S-rank talents can unlock hidden classes too? Lin Luo was shocked, though he sensed the Wish Lord might be speaking with some bias. He pressed further. "If I pick Mage but mark Devour as my beacon during the second advancement, what class would I get?" The Wish Lord replied, "That would only turn you into a half-baked melee mage." Lin Luo thought to himself. Its advice wasn't bad, but his talent was Devour. Everything still had to revolve around the Black Emperor. With the Avatar's dual stats already maxed, an agility-based class seemed a better fit. He then asked again, "What if I choose Assassin? What would that lead to?" The Wish Lord paused before answering. "Most likely the Outlaw, a path that maximizes the strengths of Devour. But I still recommend you become a Prophet Mage." After hearing the Wish Lord's words, Lin Luo already had his answer. "I choose Assassin." Instantly, The assassin's attributes surged into his body. At the same time, 5 new skills appeared: Shadow Hunt, Phantom Slash, Agility Surge, Rapid Reflex, and Power Strike. A novice dagger materialized in his hand. As expected, Assassin and the Black Emperor were the perfect match. With the class change complete, the system prompted him to pick a dungeon difficulty. Lin Luo didn't hesitate. He chose Nightmare. The moment the teleport light faded and he stepped into the dungeon, countless red-eyed goblins rushed toward him. Lin Luo raised his hand, summoning the Black Emperor and casting the skill Wish, 100 battles. At his command, the Black Emperor began to charge. In the very next second, a storm of fists exploded outward. Every goblin present was struck in a sweeping, indiscriminate assault. After just 15 kills, his level instantly shot up to 6. Since assassin weapons could stack poison, and agility would later convert directly into attack power after the second advancement, he decisively allocated all free attribute points into agility and speed. With the Black Emperor cutting through everything in his path, Lin Luo advanced without pause. Soon, he stepped into the Grand Hall where the final boss, the Goblin King, awaited. The horde of goblins came in all shapes and sizes, but none could compare to the Black Emperor. A hulking goblin roared and lunged at him. The image of human NPCs being bullied flashed through Lin Luo's mind. Rage flared up, and he shouted, "Crush them, Black Emperor!" The giant goblin was sent flying in an instant. Then, goblin shamans unleashed a storm of spells. But with agility and the Black Emperor shielding him, not a single attack landed. Explosions thundered across the battlefield. Ghost-like, the Black Emperor's fists appeared out of nowhere. 2 goblin shamans were obliterated on the spot. With all the minions wiped out, Lin Luo turned toward the Goblin King. He had expected the so-called king to at least put up a fight. Instead, one punch from a Black Emperor was all it took. The Goblin King collapsed on the spot, dead instantly. Seeing this, Lin Luo couldn't help but laugh. Too weak. With the Goblin King dead, his level shot straight up to 9. Thanks to luck, his fortune increased tenfold. At the same time, a golden tier treasure chest dropped before him. Honestly, it felt downright broken, like cheating. Normally, even clearing a nightmare run of the lowest tier dungeon would at best yield an iron tier chest. But here, rewards were calculated based on battle damage and completion time, then multiplied or reduced depending on party size and level. Without hesitation, Lin Luo opened the chest to see what loot awaited. Inside was a high-grade iron tier healing potion. Along with it came a pile of useless junk, low-tier silver spells, so weak they were basically worthless. Luckily, at the very end, 2 golden tier items appeared. Lin Luo pulled up the stats of the Guardian's Dagger. Its attack power reached 60, with an additional 10-second bleeding effect. For the early game, this was nothing short of a divine weapon. 40 more attack than a level, 10 bronze dagger, plus 3 extra attributes and the bleed effect. The Guardian's light armor reduced incoming weapon damage, making it another priceless find. Just then, the system prompted him to name his character. Without hesitation, Lin Luo said, "Black Emperor." The very next moment, a global announcement flashed before every player. Congratulations to player Black Emperor for becoming the first to clear a nightmare dungeon worldwide. Reward: 110x Fate Roulette ticket. Of course, all of this was seen by Yu Taijia. He remembered that in his previous life, the global announcement appeared late at night, and the first conqueror was someone named Grey Wolf. He immediately asked the King of Time, "Are you sure time travel doesn't alter history?" With that confirmation, Yu Taijia fell into deep thought. Could it be that the Black Emperor had stolen the King of Time's power and, after becoming stronger, cleared the dungeon? Or did the Black Emperor of the future seize that power and then travel back here? The King of Time was equally puzzled. After all, her abilities weren't meant to boost raw combat strength. Hearing this, Yu Taijia's expression darkened. He resolved to find that person as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Lin Luo was still reveling in the joy of obtaining the Fate Roulette ticket. He called out softly, "Come forth, Wish Lord. It's your time to shine." In the next instant, The Wish Lord manifested and said respectfully, "It is my honor to serve you, my great master." Lin Luo asked, "Help me analyze this. What's the most cost-effective way to make a wish?" The Wish Lord replied, "The Fate Roulette can randomly grant items ranging from S tier to 3S tier, many of which cannot be found in any dungeon. However, the higher the item's rank, the lower the chance of obtaining it. Even with your tenfold luck and 10 consecutive spins, there's no guarantee of pulling even one S-tier item." Lin Luo pressed further. "What if I use your power to make a wish instead?" The Wish Lord explained, "Obtaining a specific 3S tier item would put me into a 6-month slumber. As for S-tier items, the cost ranges from 10 to 100 energy points. Considering that a long dormancy would hinder his ability to plunder others' talents, Lin Luo immediately decided he would wish for an item above S tier. Golden light erupted as the Wish Lord declared, "Master, your wish has been fulfilled." Lin Luo swept his arm forward and shouted, "Spin!" At once, the Fate Roulette began spinning wildly. When the pointer finally slowed to a stop, 10 shimmering rewards appeared before his eyes. To his surprise, the rewards included a bond crystal that expanded a stand's range, a limit crystal that boosted its energy cap, and a rage crystal that temporarily amped up its strength. Unfortunately, the limit crystal turned out to be double S tier. After a moment's thought, Lin Luo tossed 2 bond crystals to the Black Emperor. With a sharp crack, the Black Emperor's range expanded dramatically. Next, Lin Luo crushed 2 true crystals, inheriting a total of 4% of his dungeon stats. The Ascension Crystal could be used immediately, while the Rage Crystal and Longevity Pill could be taken outside. Pulling out the Ascension Crystal, he muttered, "Now, who should I use this on?" The Wish Lord was already drooling. "My great master, I suggest giving it to me. Then you'll never have to worry about my energy again." Lin Luo casually tossed it over, and the Wish Lord fawned, "My great master, that was a wise decision indeed." Instantly, the Wish Lord's energy cap rose, and his recovery speed doubled. Unfortunately, the number of true crystals was too small. Only a few percent of stats could be carried out. And without a space crystal, none of his current gear could be taken into reality. It seemed he would have to play it step by step. Still, with everyone else so weak right now, it was the perfect window for him to grow stronger. His next target, the Tower of Heaven, to claim the world's first clear. When Lin Luo arrived, chatter filled the air. Word was the highest climber had already reached the 8th floor, and every 10 floors cleared granted a Fate Roulette ticket. Suddenly, a girl came up and asked sweetly, "Hey, handsome, want to team up?" Lin Luo walked away without looking back. Women only slow me down. The moment he entered the first floor of the tower, hordes of kobolds appeared. But under the Black Emperor's onslaught, it was like slicing through vegetables. In just 20 seconds, the floor was cleared. Outside the tower, onlookers stared in shock as a new global announcement appeared. Outside the tower, players were stunned. Black Emperor was breaking the clear record for every single floor. Inside, Lin Luo had already reached the entrance to the 10th floor. In his previous life, the first to clear the 10th floor was a player known as Piggy Scum. But now that Lin Luo was here, the glory of clearing the 10th and even the 20th floor would belong to no one else. The boss of the 10th floor was Urfin the Kobold. Wielding a massive blade, its frenzied cleave carried terrifying power. But in terms of raw strength, the Black Emperor feared no beast. A flurry of relentless strikes rained down. Urfin was beaten into low health, instantly entering a berserk state. Its speed and strength surged dramatically. Yet in the blink of an eye, the Black Emperor appeared behind it. One crushing punch landed squarely on Urfin's skull, with the 10th floor boss collapsing in defeat. A global announcement rang out. "Congratulations to player Black Emperor for becoming the world's first solo conqueror of floor 10 in the Tower of Heaven, rewarded with a 10x Fate Roulette ticket." At the same time, the announcement triggered a chain reaction. On the mysterious stone tablet, new words appeared. When the first level, 20-player completes their second advancement. A plague shall erupt across Blue Star in reality. A female researcher turned to her colleague and said, "We need to find this player called Black Emperor." Unaware of what was happening in the outside world, Lin Luo waited quietly for the fate roulette to stop spinning. At the moment the pointer slowed to a halt, 10 items materialized before his eyes. To his delight, one of them was an S-tier space crystal. Finally, he could bring items back into reality. He then used the true crystal, raising his inherited dungeon stats to 7%. The magic crystals that boosted defense and strength, along with 2 life crystals, were all handed to the Black Emperor. With that done, Lin Luo opened his inventory. Seeing piles of useless gear, he decided to clear them out before heading to the next floor. Since in-game currency was linked to real-world money, he listed copper coins at 6 yuan apiece. He also put up 2 silver-tier rare weapons and 1 silver-tier top-grade spell, priced at 2,300, 2,100, and 4,000 gold respectively. To his surprise, the moment he listed them, the system notified, "Your items have been sold." That was a solid 5 million in real cash. For a second, Lin Luo regretted it. He should have listed them one by one. He had underestimated just how rich some players were worldwide. Still, considering how easily he could farm gear, he didn't dwell on it. His focus now was climbing the tower to reach level 20. With the class advancement quest, it would probably take one night, and by the time his talent cooldown ended, he could seize another S-tier power. From memory, when the Chaos Era arrived, the 3 most notorious guilds were Smiling Coffin, Nazarick Tomb, and 8 Banner Society. One of the 8 Banner Society's 8 leaders was by Hong Lai, the Blade in the Rain without an umbrella. Nazarick's 10 guardians included Ji Wenying, the Blood Witch, and Lu Jianing, the Wrath of Ice. Smiling Coffin's officers, Zhou Yu, Hu Jinming, and Gui Tao, were all S-tier awakeners as well. They were indeed powerful, but if Lin Luo could cut them down, he would gain entry to Sin City and finally make the ones who killed him and his brother pay the price. Before long, he stepped into the 11th floor of the Tower of Heaven. The skeletal soldiers before him stirred old memories, nights spent with his brother grinding for the skeleton set. Coldly, he gave the order, "Wipe them out. Leave no one standing." In the blink of an eye, the Black Emperor smashed the skeleton soldiers into scattered bones. Just then, a level 17 skeleton commander appeared behind Lin Luo, clearly thinking the level 13 player would be easy prey. But with the battle experience he carried from his past life, low-tier monsters like this posed no threat at all. As the commander fell, the 11th floor was cleared with ease. With the Black Emperor cutting down everything in his path, Lin Luo soon arrived at the 20th floor of the Tower of Heaven. The skeleton lord, Tidamir, roared, "Awaken my servants. Rise from the depths of hell and fight for me." In an instant, more than 200 skeleton soldiers clawed their way up from the ground. Yet facing the overwhelming pressure of the undead army, Lin Luo felt not fear, but excitement. The Black Emperor charged straight at the skeleton lord. Meanwhile, Lin Luo found himself surrounded by the skeletal horde. He knew brute force would work, but the risk of injury was high. With a sharp shout, he called out, "Come forth, Wish Lord." Then he made his demand. From now on, every strike from the Black Emperor will be a critical hit, until Tidamir is completely annihilated. The pages of the Wish Book flipped, and the Wish Lord declared, "My great master, your wish has been granted." Lin Luo froze for a moment. He hadn't expected the wish to work like this. The next second, the Black Emperor erupted with terrifying aura. Lin Luo grinned and shouted, "Fight to your heart's content. Black Emperor, your master can handle himself." The skeleton lord was still stunned, but the Black Emperor was already upon him. A barrage of fists hammered into Tidamir's body. With every blow landing as a critical strike, his health plummeted to near zero in moments. Watching this, Lin Luo smiled faintly. This is the true way to use a wish. The moment the message popped up announcing Tidamir's death, Lin Luo's level rose to 14. A global announcement followed. Player Black Emperor has cleared the 20th floor. Around the world, players gasped. That's insane. But Lin Luo didn't stop. He pushed on with the Black Emperor, carving a path straight to the 29th floor. As he reached for the doors to the 30th, the system warned him that his level was too low and advised him to return later. Lin Luo sneered, "Here's my advice. Don't give me advice." Waiting inside was the sovereign of the 30th floor, the Minotaur King. At last, Lin Luo's active skill plunder and seize had a chance to shine. The Minotaur King slammed his colossal hammer into the ground, the impact echoing like thunder. Foolish level, 15 human. Do you even grasp what you're about to face? Lin Luo shot back. Isn't your palace nothing more than one giant trap? The Minotaur froze for a moment, startled by the retort. Lin Luo waved his hand sharply. Go, Black Emperor. At the same time, the Minotaur bellowed and unleashed his skill, Dance of Rage. From past life experience, Lin Luo knew. The monsters from floors 21 to 29 should never be skipped. The king could summon all of them to his aid. Countless players in the past had perished when a Minotaur shattered the ground, plunging them into deadly traps. But to Lin Luo, such tricks were nothing worth fearing. Wish Lord, grant my wish. Every strike from Black Emperor must land a critical hit. With that blessing, every casual punch from the Black Emperor ripped away 450 HP from the Minotaur King. The beast's health bar plummeted, nearing empty. Roaring in desperation, the Minotaur unleashed his Skill King's command, summoning a horde of warriors to shield him. But this was exactly the moment Lin Luo had been waiting for. He raised his hand and triggered his skill, Plunder and Seize. In an instant, 30% of the Minotaur's HP, attack power, and skill potency was stripped away. Weakened and staggering, the Minotaur was crushed beneath the Black Emperor's foot. With the battle won, Lin Luo's level shot up to 18. Just then, waves of lesser monsters poured through the gates. Lin Luo lifted his arm and sneered. Let's see how King's command works in my hands. My warriors, hear my command, kneel. The clatter of weapons rang out as blades and spears hit the floor. Every monster in the hall dropped to its knees before him. In unison, they shouted, "All hail the king." Lin Luo smirked and gave the order. Black Emperor, wipe them out. Black Emperor unleashed Minotaur King's skill, Earth Shatter. The blast of dust made Lin Luo cough twice. The flood of EXP shot his level straight up to 22. Then, the global system rang out again. Congratulations to player Black Emperor for becoming the world's first to clear floor 30 of the Sky Tower solo. While players outside were still debating who this mysterious powerhouse was, Lin Luo calmly walked out of the crowd. His next step was clear: complete the assassin's second advancement. The next day, inside a small tomato noodle shop, Lin Luo was recharging his energy, ready to take on the advancement quest. Suddenly, a loud slap echoed through the shop, drawing his attention. The people causing the commotion turned out to be his old co-workers. At that moment, Qin Xiaomei was kneeling on the ground, begging for mercy. Zhang Wei kicked her hard, shouting, "Sorry doesn't bring Xiaojia back. You got him killed." He then sat down, barking, "Drag that useless priest over here to keep healing me." Qin Xiaomei, trembling from another kick, muttered, "Back when the supervisor was around, you guys never dared treat me like this." Her words only drew sneers. "Still think you're the supervisor's woman? He vanished ages ago." Lin Luo sneered inwardly. "That supervisor will haunt you forever." In his past life, these people had banded together as lackeys of Wang Jichao, constantly bullying him at work and mocking him as the thief's brat. Once, they'd acted like siblings, but in this chaotic era, even the closest ties rotted away in the face of profit. Before long, Qin Xiaomei was forced to heal Zhang Wei again, just as the group fretted over needing another teammate. Zhang Wei's eyes lit up as he noticed something. He strolled straight toward Lin Luo. Dropping a plate of food on the table, he smirked. "Old co-worker, long time no see. Thought I'd bring you something nice. Don't live so miserably." He added with fake warmth, "Really don't live that hard." Without waiting for a response, He pressed further. So, what ability did you awaken? Why not team up with me? Make real money. Otherwise, how could you ever be worthy of Wenyusi? Lin Luo remembered it vividly. In his last life, after being detained 10 days for beating Wang Jichao, Zhang Wei had asked him the very same question. Back then, too naive about human malice, he revealed his plunder talent, only to become their running joke afterward. This time, Lin Luo simply stood up and said coldly, "Sorry, I'm not joining your team." Zhang Wei burst into laughter. "You? A broke nobody? Thinking you'll be some solo-run legend like Black Emperor?" Suddenly, Qin Xiaomei called out from behind and stopped him. She threw herself at Lin Luo's thigh and pleaded in a high, coquettish voice, "Brother Luo, please, save me, won't you?" Grabbing his hand, she added, "Take me with you. I'll do anything." Lin Luo pulled his hand back without hesitation. "You got the wrong person. I can't help you." Zhang Wei flew into a rage and charged. He grabbed Qin Xiaomei by the hair and snarled, "You cling to anyone who looks rich. Did you think he could actually save you? He and his brother were just thieves taken in by Wenyusi. Probably don't even have half my talent." At that, Lin Luo's eyes went ice cold. "I suggest you stop saying those 3 words." Zhang Wei didn't take the warning seriously. He leaned close and sneered, "Those 3 words, living off someone, you mean Wenyusi, right?" Then he motioned the others to attack, eager to make Lin Luo feel the era's cruelty. The other 2 leapt forward with glee and rushed in. As their fists were about to land, Lin Luo barely exerted himself and sent both assailants flying backwards. Reborn, he now understands this era's rules better than you. Watching his teammates fall, Zhang Wei spat. 2 useless idiots. Can't even beat him. He pulled a dagger from his pocket and charged without further words. Lin Luo sidestepped the strike and delivered a powerful kick. The blow sent Zhang Wei hurtling through the air. Afterward, Lin Luo dusted off his clothes and mocked, "Pathetic. Fighting you is beneath me." The remaining 2 stared at each other in horror. They dropped to their knees and begged, "Lord Luo, please spare us. Have mercy." Upstairs in the loft, a pair of eyes watched coldly, and the display of power Lin Luo had just shown had caught that watcher's interest. The man turned out to be Bai Hong Lai, one of the 8 wardens of the 8-Banner Society. At that moment, Lin Luo was preparing to leave the noodle shop. Qin Xiaomei stared at him with starry eyes, thinking, "Now that's the kind of strong man I want." She grabbed the hem of Lin Luo's jacket and kept apologizing for what had happened before. She even placed his hand against her cheek, cooing that she'd make it up to him 100 times over. Lin Luo felt nothing. "Let go. Have some dignity," he said, pulling his hand free. As he walked away, the shop filled with resentment. "Don't think your little rise makes you special, Lin. I'm the office beauty. Being with you is me doing you a favor." 2 men behind her snickered like they were watching a show. "Lord Luo's got a thing for Wenyusi. Save yourself the embarrassment." Qin Xiaomei snapped back. "How am I any less than Wenyusi?" They cut her down without mercy. "You're not even fit to carry Wenyusi's shoes." In the next heartbeat, Qin Xiaomei slapped them across the faces. Bai Honglai in the loft saw it all. Intrigued by the girl's fire, he decided she'd be useful to the 8-Banner Society. And a good angle to probe Lin Luo. Find a weak spot, and she'll serve us without question. After dusting off the 2 men, Qin Xiaomei spat a parting barb. "Lin Luo, one day I'll crush you under my heel." Just then, a man appeared at the door and approached Bai Honglai, asking quietly if Qin Xiaomei would join the 8 Banners. Qin Xiaomei agreed without a second thought. As she signed a contract, she sneered inwardly. This is the gap between a poor nobody and a noble guild. Afterward, the man pressed her about her connection to Lin Luo. Qin Xiaomei wasted no time in acting, calling him a heartless liar who toyed with her feelings. The man leaned closer. "Does he have any weaknesses? We're family now. Perhaps the guild could help you take revenge." Qin Xiaomei didn't hesitate and blurted out Wenyusi's name. Lin Luo knew nothing of this. He was on his way to begin the advancement quest. He had already sent someone tailing him. To uncover their intent, he deliberately turned into an alley and suddenly doubled back. "Let's see who dares to stalk me." As he brushed past the man, Lin Luo realized he had no memory of ever seeing him. Panicked, the stalker tried to slip away. With a resounding boom, the Black Emperor's strike landed. The man was slammed hard against the wall. Lin Luo's voice was ice. "Tell me, who sent you?" But the man stammered, insisting he was just a passerby. From the insignia on his earring, Lin Luo concluded he was a member of the Eight Banner Society. Yet by his memory of the past life, the Eight Banners shouldn't have appeared this early. With that thought, Lin Luo pressed him again, but the answer was the same empty denial. The Eight Banner zealots were notoriously tight-lipped. Pushing them further would be a waste of time. So Lin Luo summoned the Wish Lord and wished aloud. "Make him confess why he was tailing me." From the man's mouth, it all came out. He'd been sent by Hong Lai, a warden of the Eight Banners. A female player from a noodle shop had joined the guild and fed the warden intel on Lin Luo. They were investigating a woman named Wen Yusi. The warden planned to use her as leverage, blackmail Lin Luo into serving the guild as a deathbound enforcer. At that moment, everything snapped into place for Lin Luo. He was furious. Qin Xiaomei had been vicious enough to weaponize this against him. In the third year after the cataclysm, Bai Honglai had murdered Wen Yusi with his own hands. Back then, Lin Luo had risked everything to train up and avenge her, only to die in a monster's maw. Now he resolved, before the Eight Banners could find Wen Yusi, Bai Honglai had to be eradicated. He ordered the Black Emperor to dispose of the stalker's body. Then he asked the Wish Lord, "If I wish for the Eight Banners to leave Wen Yusi alone, how long would that protection last?" The Wish Lord answered, "At its current power, it could only guarantee 24 hours. After a moment's thought, Lin Luo decided to complete his second advancement first and ensure he had the means to take Bai Honglai. 24 hours would be enough. He commanded the Wish Lord to guard Wen Yusi, then headed to tackle the second advancement trial. Soon he arrived at the Assassin Guild's exclusive trial entrance. Waiting to greet him was the advancement mentor, Miles. From a mentor's briefing, Lin Luo learned the task: collect 30 snowmen, Horn Sun, the frozen plain, and obtain the beak of a penguin king. This trial was far higher quality than the warrior's second advancement dungeon. As Miles was outlining the objectives, a muffled thud sounded behind him. A massive black snowman loomed into view. Its fist shot forward, a crushing blow headed straight for him. Fortunately, Lin Luo summoned the Black Emperor in time to block the strike. He hadn't expected a second advancement trial's monsters to resort to sneak attacks. With the Black Emperor pinning the Black Snowman down, a snowman horn dropped as loot. Just as Lin Luo moved to gather the materials, the ground began to quake violently. Within seconds, hundreds of black snowmen swarmed the area. Strangely, they kept shifting into white forms, changing appearance one after another. Lin Luo drew the Guardian's dagger, bracing for the real fight. The true battle had only just begun. Though the snowmen hit hard, they were sluggish. Concentrated attacks from him and the Black Emperor would cut them down easily. One clean slash decapitated a snowman. Lin Luo dashed toward the Black Emperor's position and signaled to be launched into the air. With seamless coordination, he gave a confident grin. He unleashed Earth Shatter, a skill he had seized from the Minotaur King via plunder. Then he roared to the Black Emperor. While they're stunned, crush them. Black Emperor decisively unleashed Dance of Frenzy. In the blink of an eye, he pierced through countless snowmen. After clearing out a wave, the mission materials were finally collected. Yet the snowmen kept pouring in, as if they would never end. Meanwhile, somewhere else, the Penguin King sipped red wine leisurely and sneered. "Foolish human, watch how I wear you down to death." Return, spirits of the black snowmen. Suddenly, mysterious objects burst out from the corpses before Lin Luo. They surged together, converging toward the depths of the mountain. Soon, the Penguin King gathered a massive energy sphere. "Rise again, my black snowman warriors." In an instant, beams of light streaked over Lin Luo's head. They slammed into the ground, blasting out a deep crater. At first, Lin Luo was puzzled by the strange energy. But when he saw the snowmen revived inside the pit, the answer was clear. He instantly realized the source lay within that ice sculpture on the mountaintop. Without hesitation, Lin Luo bypassed the horde of snowmen. Black Emperor lifted him up, and at his command hurled him skyward toward the peak. For Black Emperor, it was effortless. Alarmed, the Penguin King cast Royal Call, summoning snowmen to his aid. But Lin Luo didn't give a chance to live. He slashed down with Phantom Strike, cleaving it clean in half. Holding the quest material, Penguin King's beak, Lin Luo smiled with satisfaction. The remaining snowmen instantly melted away, proving the saying true. Take the king first, and the army collapses. With the task done, Lin Luo handed the gathered materials to his mentor. Miles asked if he would choose a normal class or a hidden class. Lin Luo didn't hesitate. He chose hidden, since that was his goal all along. But Miles' face suddenly shifted, warning him that failure meant certain death. Even so, Lin Luo stood firm. High risk always came with high rewards. If others had once succeeded in taking a hidden class, then so could he. Miles laughed aloud, praising his courage. Then he warned there was no turning back. The path had already been set. With that, Lin Luo was transported into the transfer space. According to Miles, every hidden class within could be chosen freely. But when Lin Luo came to, the space was empty. Then his foot struck something unseen. A second later, a crimson pillar of light flared before him. Two more pillars soon rose around it. He reached out toward the red pillar. What appeared was the class recommended by the Wish Lord Outlaw. Yet the blue pillar revealed Shadowless, a class with far better stats and abilities. Clearly, the pillar colors marked class quality, and the golden one had to be the highest. When his hand touched the golden light, the class revealed itself, Legendary Storm Swordmaster. Lin Luo's jaw dropped. This class was too rare. Even with his second life, he'd never heard of it. If he became a Storm Swordmaster, the three major evil factions would be nothing to fear. But first, he had to settle one thing. Wish Lord, get out here. Pressed by his demand, the Wish Lord explained. Storm Swordmaster had only a 0.5% chance of success. Shadowless was much higher, yet still just 9%, while Outlaw offered a 98% chance, making it the safest path. Hearing this, Lin Luo dropped the idea of scolding him. But he did warn the Wish Lord to only lay out the pros and cons in the future, never decide for him again. Since fate had put it before him, he would always pick the path with the highest payoff. And so, without hesitation, he stepped toward the Storm Swordmaster's pillar. Before the transfer began, he asked again, with only 1% talent compatibility, if I succeed, will I wield 100% of the Storm Swordmaster's power? The Wish Lord looked worried. Failure meant 20 days of mental collapse, or worse, death in the transfer space. 20 days of collapse was as good as death, falling behind everyone, unable to protect sister when in time. But the Wish Lord hadn't factored himself into the odds. Lin Luo declared, Wish Lord, I wish for guaranteed success in becoming a Storm Sword Master. The Wish Lord's eyes lit with joy. With a sweeping gesture, he proclaimed, Great Master, your wish is fulfilled. As the transfer began, Miles in the real world felt the disturbance. Even a 3S rank prodigy might fail such an ancient legendary class. And this boy actually dared to pick it. Meanwhile, within the transfer, Lin Luo envisioned the Storm Swordmaster's figure. A solemn voice spoke. To inherit the ancient legacy, you must grasp two truths, the essence of storm and death. I have wandered the world, yet never lost my heart, faithful to the wind and to the sword. With a single draw of his blade, one strike alone repelled all the monsters around him. The voice continued, Only by facing death head-on can you become unstoppable. So this was the only assassin who embodied the creed. Death is like the wind, always by my side. The process drained enormous energy, and the Wish Lord faltered first. Master, my power is exhausted. I must now sleep. The rest is up to you. Time blurred, and Lin Luo finally collapsed onto the transfer altar. In the real world, his body fell too. Moments later, a global announcement rang out. The world's first second-tier class had been born. Miles sighed in regret, believing the boy had been beaten to it. Perhaps arrogance had been his downfall. But then Lin Luo's eyes slowly opened. Forcing a smile through the pain, he looked alive. Miles froze. Had this kid actually succeeded? The cigarette but slipped from his hand. Lin Luo downed a high-grade stamina potion in one gulp. His fatigue vanished instantly. Miles couldn't hold back his curiosity, eager to know how he pulled it off. Lin Luo only smirked. "Teacher, don't her feet feel hot?" While Miles stomped at the flames underfoot, Lin Luo slipped out the door. He had no time to waste. White Honglai had to die, and the Wish Lord had to be awakened. Thankfully, only 5 hours had passed since the transfer began. That meant he still had 19 hours to find White Honglai. A message popped up from Qin Xiaomei, asking to meet. Lin Luo saw through it instantly. It was the 8 Banners Society pulling the strings. Fine then. He would choose the time and place himself. At that moment, Qin Xiaomei was laughing and chatting with Bai Honglai. Suddenly, the ringtone of a phone shattered the tender mood. When she realized the meeting time was set for tonight, Qin Xiaomei still wanted to linger. But Bai Honglai told her to pack up immediately and head for the location. Having her moment ruined, Qin Xiaomei clenched her teeth in anger. Meanwhile, because the first second-class advancement player had appeared, the mysterious stone tablet revealed a message. Within 24 hours, a plague would erupt, an omen of a great catastrophe to come. Soon after, Lin Luo received a curfew notice. Starting tomorrow at 8 p.m., all movement would be forbidden. He remembered clearly. In his past life, the first wave of the plague disaster had been the dimensional insect swarm. For awakened ones, it was an opportunity, but for ordinary people, it was nothing short of a death sentence. In his previous life, he had failed to protect any of the people who once stood by him. But this time, Lin Luo finally had the strength to protect them. Memories of childhood bullying resurfaced. When Yusi had always stood up for him, whether on the eve of graduation or later in his working life. Yet when Yusi needed him most, he hadn't been there. That was why Bai Honglai had to die tonight. At the same time, Bai Honglai was hurrying toward the meeting place, plotting how to force Lin Luo into servitude. The truth was, 8 Banner Society had just ordered him to collect a huge number of spirit-raising crystals within a month. To achieve this, he had commanded Qin Xiaomei to keep tabs on Wen Yusi. With that leverage in hand, he believed he could bend Lin Luo to his will. Before long, Qin Xiaomei arrived at the designated spot. With full confidence, she brushed her hair back. Then she rushed excitedly toward Lin Luo. She even leapt before she reached him, only to fall flat, missing completely. Qin Xiaomei was about to complain, but Lin Luo cut her off coldly, demanding to know Bai Honglia's location. Qin Xiaomei froze in shock, unable to fathom how Lin Luo knew the Hall Master's name. She quickly put on an innocent face, pretending to know nothing. But under Lin Luo's crushing presence, her nerves began to falter. In the end, she admitted to joining 8 Banner Society, though she refused to reveal Bai Honglai. Seeing this, Lin Luo wasted no more words. He pulled out a phone and dialed Bai Honglai directly. It was the same phone he had taken from the stalker he killed earlier. As soon as the call connected, Bai Honglai demanded to know why his underling was calling so late. Lin Luo answered coldly, "That man's already reporting to the King of Hell. Stop hiding. Show yourself, Bai Honglai." Moments later, Bai Honglai appeared on the beach, smiling as he praised Lin Luo for living up to his expectations. He even extended an invitation, urging Lin Luo to join 8 Banner Society and build an empire together. But Lin Luo only smirked, casually reciting their so-called restoration plan word for word. Bai Honglia's eyes widened in shock, demanding to know how Lin Luo had learned their secrets. Lin Luo gave no explanation. His killing intent was enough. These people were all marked for death. Fight, Black Emperor! Yet to his surprise, every blow from Black Emperor was blocked. The sudden turn of events made Lin Luo's heart tighten. Bai Honglai had summoned his own S-rank stand, Kagaya Heim. With a calm command, he ordered Kagaya Heim to fight while retreating, never clashing head-on. To Lin Luo's astonishment, the stand not only matched Black Emperor's speed, but its iron defense rendered Black Emperor's strikes almost useless. Lin Luo halted Black Emperor. Killing the host mattered more than crushing the stand. Victory had to be swift and absolute. Black Emperor's earlier strikes had drained Kagaya-Heim's energy, and Bai Honglai knew it was time to gamble everything. Both sides shared the same resolve now. End it quickly. Bai Honglai commanded, Kagaya-Heim, Rainblade form, cut down his stand. Lin Luo unleashed the Wish Lorder's power, ensuring Bai Honglai could not dodge Black Emperor's next strike. In a flash, Kagaya-Heim's blade grazed Black Emperor. Bai Honglai's eyes narrowed. If his blade struck true, Black Emperor's fist would still smash into him. Snarling, he ordered Kagaya-Heim to abandon the clash and cut Lin Luo down directly. As Black Emperor and Kagaya-Heim crossed paths, Black Emperor's fist crashed straight into Bai Honglai's skull. The sheer force sent him tumbling across the ground in 2 full rolls. At the same moment, Kagaya-Heim loomed over Lin Luo. Bai Honglai, wincing through the pain, laughed madly, sure that a blade would always outmatch a fist. But Lin Luo's figure vanished in an instant. Bai Honglai's mind reeled. How could a human move with such speed? Almost simultaneously, Lin Luo appeared behind him. Black Emperor's strike came down like judgment itself. No matter how strong Kagaya-Heim was, the rule of this world never changed. The strong live, the weak perish. The vengeance for one Yusi's death. This time, Lin Luo delivered it with his own hands. After the plunder activated, Lin Luo seized Bai Honglai's S-Class talent, Rainy Night. He also obtained Bai Honglai's S-Class stand Kagaya. With Rainy Night paired with Kagaya, his attack, defense, and even attack speed all surpassed the Black Emperor. Since his intelligence stat had reached 30, he no longer needed to manually control it. This was practically a perfect stand. What's more, Bai Honglai's death brought an unexpected reward. Killing a target sometimes caused their items to drop. With 2 single-draw fate roulette tickets, plus those he had earned earlier, he now had enough for 2 10-pulls. But because the Wish Lord's energy had been completely drained, he couldn't summon it back for now. Lin Luo remembered that in the secret realm known as the Forest Sanctuary, there were rare items that could restore energy. Kagaya sensed this and asked her master, "Are we heading to the secret realm now?" Lin Luo replied, "There's somewhere more important we need to go first." Before long, he arrived in front of a villa. Bai Honglai's death would surely cause an uproar within the 8-Banner Society. While they were busy hunting for the killer, Wen Yusi would be safe for the time being. At that moment, Kagaya leaned closer and asked, "Is Wen Yusi your girlfriend, master?" Lin Luo's face flushed red as he stammered, "Not yet." But Kagaya knew very well. Wen Yusi meant everything to her master. She thought back to the most important person in her own life, her brother, and now, Wen Yusi. Lin Luo clenched his fist and told Kagaya, "Yes, they matter to me. That's why in this life, I'll grow stronger no matter what. I'll never let the regrets of my past life happen again." Next, it was time to awaken the Wish Lord. He soon arrived at the entrance of the dungeon, but a guard stopped him, warning that this secret realm carried an extremely high risk. One wrong step could mean death. Lin Luo pulled out his personal ID card. Fortunately, the name Black Emperor was already well known. The chubby guard immediately stepped aside. Still, he kindly reminded Lin Luo not to risk his life just to impress a girl. Watching the two of them walk straight in without looking back, the guard could only sigh. Even heroes can't resist beauty. Once inside the dungeon, Kagaya unleashed carnage. In just a few minutes, she cut down hundreds of grotesque monsters and leveled up to 8. Meanwhile, Lin Luo sipped his water leisurely. This wasn't him carrying a girl, it was the girl carrying him. With a graceful landing, Kagaya struck the ground. She turned to her master and said, "All enemies in this area have been eliminated." Lin Luo stood up and explained the objective of this mission. All they had to do was help the elves defend their camp against invading forces. The reward would be God-gifted crystal shards, items capable of restoring stand energy. However, in his past life, players had discovered a strategy. If you waited until the monsters completely overran the elf camp before stepping in, the number of shards earned would multiply several times over. So he had to wait for the perfect moment. With a thunderous boom, the elves' defensive wall was breached. "Kaguya, it's our turn now." Instantly, hordes of grotesque monsters swarmed together. The dungeon boss, the monster overlord, made its appearance. It let out a deafening roar, only to have its arm severed in the next instant. Lin Luo had arrived on the battlefield with two powerful stands. The monster overlord bellowed again. "Human, you dare oppose me? This territory is mine." 594. Lin Luo raised a god-gifted crystal shard. "Awaken, Wish Lord. Wish Lord, I wish for the Black Emperor's every strike to be a critical hit, until the monster overlord is erased." As the pages of the wish book turned, the voice echoed, "Great Master, your wish has been fulfilled." A colossal fist came crashing down toward the Black Emperor. Lin Luo commanded Kaguya to shift into her Rainy Night umbrella form and block the attack. Following his order, Kaguya hurled the umbrella forward. The monster overlord's fist slammed directly into it. At the same time, Kaguya and the Black Emperor surged at their target together. Under the assault of two S-class stands, the monster overlord's health dropped at a speed visible to the naked eye, but its massive flail shattered their rhythm. Taking advantage of the opening, the monster overlord rapidly gathered energy. In moments, its ultimate attack, Destructive Death Ray, was fully charged. Seeing this, Lin Luo shouted for Kaguya to defend with all her strength. A torrent of destructive energy rained down. Though Kaguya and the Black Emperor managed to block the Death Ray, the drain left Kaguya's body fading, and even the Black Emperor was nearly exhausted. Lin Luo crushed another god-gifted crystal shard. Black Emperor, while his ultimate is on cooldown, go all out. With the Black Emperor and his plunder skill working in tandem, the monster overlord was slain. Lin Luo reaped a massive amount of experience, and with it, he unlocked his third-class skill, 10,000 Swords Converge. Unexpectedly, the slime on the ground began to writhe. In the next instant, several tentacles shot out, lashing toward Lin Luo. The corner of his mouth curled into a smile. Perfect chance to test my new skill. He swung his arm wide. 10,000 swords converge. In a flash, countless blades of light pierced through the tentacles. With this skill, his combat power was no weaker than his stance. It felt amazing, but after just 1 second of showing off, his mana bar was completely empty. Lin Luo remembered that when mages advanced, they gained two crucial skills: mana recovery and mana absorption. He swore he'd find a way to seize them someday. After all, he didn't want such a powerful move to remain just a last resort trump card. Afterward, he walked up to the god-gifted tree to see how many crystal shards it would drop. He casually fired off an arrow. Over 100 shards fell into his hands, equal to 5-3S tier super crystals. But that was the perk of clearing content above his level. Next time, the yield would be far lower. Now then, it's time for the Fate Roulette draw. Come forth, Wish Lord. Soon, the Wish Lord appeared. Great Master, I am honored to serve you. After discussing the details of his wish with the Wish Lord, Lin Luo summoned the Fate Roulette. My wish: the next 10 pull must grant only S-class items, and none of them can be life extension pills. As the Fate Roulette began to spin, he was stunned to receive a double S-class reward, the Cooldown Crystal, which permanently have the cooldown of talents. Without hesitation, he crushed it. From now on, he could plunder 2 S-class talents in a single day. The other reward was an S-class Intelligence Crystal, raising intelligence by 10 points. The Wish Lord stepped closer. Respected Master, I suggest you give this crystal to the one who needs it most. At that moment, the Wish Lord's intelligence stood at 180, Kaguya's at 30, and the Black Emperor had a pitiful one. Lin Luo found himself torn. So he asked, what exactly does intelligence affect? The Wish Lord replied, "Intelligence is not the same as wisdom or cleverness. It determines processing speed. The higher the intelligence, the faster one learns, adapts, and gains experience, reflected in both combat and communication." Hearing this, Lin Luo had his answer. The Black Emperor relied solely on brute force, but monsters would only grow stronger. He could no longer just hack through them unchecked, which meant the one who needed this crystal most was the Black Emperor. With that thought, Lin Luo tossed the intelligence crystal to him. With a sharp crack, the Black Emperor's body underwent a dramatic transformation. His pupils shifted from violet to blood red. "Master, thank you for your gift. I will clear all obstacles in your path." From this moment on, with his intelligence boosted, the Black Emperor no longer required Lin Luo's control in battle. Compared to grinding experience, nothing was faster than direct plunder. Lin Luo tossed 2 limit crystals to the Wish Lord, boosting his energy capacity and ordering him to locate the next S-class talent target. The Wish Lord replied, "As you command, great master." Meanwhile, at a certain school, Yang Yong, who had awakened an A-class talent, was knocked to the ground. Zhou Yu sneered, warning him not to push his luck, and that at worst, they'd just stay out of each other's way from now on. Trembling, Yang Yong forced himself up, flames igniting around his arms as the fighting spirit in his eyes burned brighter. He roared, throwing a punch toward Zhou Yu. "You slapped me around, pissed on my head. Wasn't that too much?" But a tentacle shot out, coiling tightly around his fist. It turned out Zhou Yu had been hiding his true strength all along, disgusted by the appearance of his own stand. Immobilized, Yang Yong could only let out a furious roar. After all, in a crowd of tens of thousands, even one S-class awakening was rare, yet it had fallen into the hands of a bully. And this entire scene, with the Wish Lord's help, streamed straight into Lin Luo's mind. Perfect. The next plunder target is locked. Zhou Yu smacked Yang Yong across the face, taunting him for losing his arrogance. One of his lackeys chimed in, "An A-class talent? That's nothing compared to Brother Zhou." Zhou Yu snorted coldly and ordered, "Turn him into food for the green demon." Just as the tentacles tightened around Yang Yong, a voice from behind interrupted Zhou Yu. A female teacher stepped forward, scolding him not to use his talent as an excuse to torment his classmates. Yang Yong recognized her, Teacher Chun from their school. The 2 lackeys instinctively shrank back, intimidated by a teacher's authority. But Zhou Yu told them not to panic, and brazenly directed his tentacles toward Teacher Chun. With his talent exposed, he was ready to walk down the dark path without turning back. In an instant, Teacher Chin's body was bound, unable to move. She had long been the secret crush of countless boys in the school, and Zhou Yu was no exception. Tentacles coiled around her thigh. She hung suspended in midair, forced into an utterly humiliating position. Yang Yong spat a curse, calling Zhou Yu a beast. Zhou Yu just sneered, "I'll enjoy myself with her first, then I'll see her." Suddenly, blades of light flashed, slicing the green demon's tentacles into pieces. Teacher Chun was freed from her restraints. Before Zhou Yu could react, a figure flickered past. His 2 lackeys collapsed, their throats slit. Alarmed, Zhou Yu shouted, demanding the intruder stop acting mysterious. Just then, a foot stepped into his line of sight. Zhou Yu recognized the stand beside Lin Luo, Kagaya, and S-Class. He demanded Lin Luo's identity, certain that no other S-Class awakeners existed in the school. The answer came with a snap of Lin Luo's fingers. "Come forth, Wish Lord. I wish that for the next 30 seconds, I take no damage." The Wish Lord spread his arms. "Master, your wish has been fulfilled." Ignored, Zhou Yu pressed again, demanding to know who Lin Luo was. Lin Luo replied coolly, "Doesn't matter who I am. You have 3 seconds to think of your last words." Enraged, Zhou Yu ordered the green demon to strike. "What? You think you're the only one with an S-Class stand? I'll give you 3 seconds too. Stay, and I'll kill you with him." Lin Luo only smirked. "Black Emperor, crush him." In the next instant, the Black Emperor materialized before him. 3 S-Class stand appearing one after another left Zhou Yu utterly stunned. The Black Emperor's assault was as straightforward and brutal as ever. But then, an unexpected twist. The green demon's tentacles latched onto the Black Emperor's arm. In the blink of an eye, all 4 of the Black Emperor's limbs were bound tight. With the upper hand, Zhou mocked, "So what if you have more stands?" Then he commanded, "Green demon, devour him." Lin Luo sneered in return, "Go Kagaya." In the blink of an eye, a cold flash cut through the air. Rainy night, blade instantly severed the tentacles restraining the Black Emperor. The next few strikes shredded the remaining tentacles into pieces. Staring at the fallen tentacle fragments at his feet, the crowd fell silent. Zhou collapsed to the ground in fright and immediately tried to excuse himself, claiming he'd only acted to protect his brother. Yang Yong stepped forward to refute the slander outright. Lin Luo had already seen through the whole thing. He thought people who get power and use it to harm others are more valuable dead than allowed to waste resources later. Feeling the threat of death, Zhou shamelessly begged Teacher Chun to intercede for him. Teacher Chen's eyes suddenly hardened. Kagaya's strike had already landed, and the target was Zhou, the very man who had been pleading for mercy. As Zhou crashed to the ground, Teacher Chen's startled cry rang out across the campus. Lin Luo walked forward calmly. Scum who abuse power and bully teachers. Dying twice wouldn't be too much. When the plunder activated, Lin Luo successfully acquired his 4th S-class talent. This new talent, however, felt particularly uncanny. At that moment, Yang Yong approached to thank him and quietly asked for Lin Luo's name. Without thinking, Lin Luo replied with 3 words, "Black Emperor." Lin Luo turned with a carefree stride, ready to enjoy a feast. Watching his figure fade into the distance, Yang Yong's eyes sparkled like stars as he swore that one day he would become a powerhouse like the Black Emperor. At the restaurant, Lin Luo was still pondering the peculiarity of his new talent. It was called perfect fusion, the ability to take the essence of any 2 beings, preserve their traits, and merge them together. The description was too vague, and with a 5-day cooldown, it wasn't something he could test right away. So he summoned the Green Goblin. To his surprise, the creature's form had already evolved, and he could even feel the vivid sensation of its many arms. When Lin Luo opened the attribute panel, the reason the Black Emperor had nearly stumbled became clear. Green Goblin's elastic skin skill reduced damage from blunt force, magic, and similar attacks by 50%, but sharp attacks actually inflicted 20% more damage. No wonder the Black Emperor's strikes had little effect, while Kagaya had cut him down with ease. Lin Luo stretched lazily. "All of you, come on out. We're grabbing fried chicken." In an instant, all 3 S-class stand-ins appear at once. "Great Master, fried chicken is a brilliant idea." He pulled out his phone and ordered in bulk chicken wraps, drumstick burgers, codfish sandwiches, colas, 300 of each, before he could even catch his breath. The clerk informed him the store didn't have that much stock on hand. Lin Luo simply told them to bring whatever they had. He remembered that in half a year, supplies would become scarce worldwide. Thankfully, the space crystal could preserve food in its freshest state, so stockpiling early was the only smart move. Just then, Kagaya pointed outside. "Master, look, the fog is getting thicker." Hearing this, Lin Luo suddenly remembered something. He quickly checked the time on his phone. As expected, it matched the moment of the first insect plague outbreak. At that same moment, a woman clutching a child burst into the restaurant, begging for someone to save her kid. But the next second, her clothes were snagged by something unseen. A massive spider monster emerged before their eyes. The woman was about to become its meal. A sudden force tore her free. Lin Luo had stepped forward, shielding the mother and child behind him. Facing the monster, a grin tugged at his lips. After all, these creatures were opportunities for Awakened, offering 4 times the normal experience. He immediately summoned the Wish Lord. "Wish Lord, I wish for all fog within 10 meters to disperse." A beam of light instantly pierced the battlefield. Stripped of its cover, the spider monster stood in full view. Lin Luo could now unleash the Storm Swordmaster's skills without hindrance, striking straight at the beast. A flash of cold steel, and the spider was cleaved clean in two. The system panel chimed, "Congratulations, you have slain a level 7 long-legged spider, earning 640 EXP with a 400% disaster bonus." Though no extra loot dropped, that 4 times experience was simply irresistible. As he mused over it, 2 massive locusts swooped toward him. Lin Luo smirked. "Black Emperor, Kagaya, time to farm some levels." In the very next moment, Kagaya split the giant locust clean in half. The Black Emperor followed suit, dispatching the other just as swiftly. Meanwhile, the mutated insect plague swept across the entire city. Inside a high-rise, Liu Tianxue scoffed that the monsters looked scary, but admitted he felt no fear at all. Yu Taijie explained that while this disaster spelled doom for ordinary people, for awakened with powerful talents, it was an enormous fortune. Liu Tianxue asked if it was because of the quadruple experience bonus. Yu Taijie nodded, adding that in the original timeline, the first player to complete a second-class transfer did so 6 days after the global awakening. Yet the one known as the Black Emperor had already done it yesterday. That was why the first insect plague had been triggered ahead of schedule. Still, Yu Taijie reassured them. Since every one of them was an S-class powerhouse he had gathered, as long as they exploited the insect's phototropic weakness, they would reach level 20 quickly and achieve their second transfer. Just then, an entire glass wall shattered with a deafening crash. Liu Tianxue leapt down first. Let's see who can claim the most loot. Elsewhere, Lin Luo had just finished a slaughter, leaving piles of insect corpses around him. The remaining swarms, having suppressed their phototropic instincts, vanished into the shadows. Lin Luo ordered the Black Emperor and Kagaya to stand guard, then stepped back into the restaurant. The clerks placed the prepared food behind the counter. Lin Luo warned them not to step outside. There was enough food and water to last about 10 days, after which rescue would come. The woman holding her child begged to go with him, but Lin Luo refused without hesitation. Before leaving, he instructed them to extinguish all lights and seal the glass. Without light, the creatures wouldn't break in. But as Lin Luo stepped out the door, his stride suddenly halted. For some reason, an ominous feeling welled up in Lin Luo's chest, as if he had overlooked something. He quickly replayed every memory in his mind. Then it hit him. The altered history caused by his rebirth had triggered the disaster ahead of schedule. That meant Sister One and his brother could already be in danger. He had to check on their safety immediately. Meanwhile, Liu Tianxue descended from the sky with his S-class stand-in, Heavenly Venerable. The figure swung its horsetail whisk, unleashing a skill. Its target was the mantis monster on the ground, raising its scythe to cut down helpless humans. With a thunderous boom, an enormous chi blast smashed the mantis flat. Liu Tianxue, full of himself, asked the rescued woman how she planned to repay his heroic deed. But in the next instant, the mantis's body was pierced clean through by another surge of power. The one who struck was Huitaro, whose S-class talent, Emperor's Eye, carried the terrifying effect of making his words law. Watching his kill stolen, Liu Tianxue grumbled that such behavior was out of line. The last member of their team then spoke up, saying that since the creature was already dead, he would put it to use. Placing his hand on the corpse, a surge of violet energy spread outward. Rise again for your king. As the mantis monster revived in a deathly form, Liu Tianxue couldn't help but praise Yu Taijie. After all, with the dual S-class talent, Shadow Monarch, they could command an entire undead army. In his rush, Lin Luo casually cut down the mantis monster, blocking his path overhead. The scene was immediately noticed by Yu Taijie's group. Liu Tianxue remarked that the kid's moves were sharp and efficient. He had some skill, but Huitaro argued that without foresight, an ordinary person could never survive this insect plague. His words left Yu Taijie briefly pensive. Lin Luo, however, was unaware of their discussion. What he remembered was that in the original timeline, Sister One had safely avoided this outbreak. Now, he had to see with his own eyes that she was unharmed. But the one who opened the door wasn't Sister One. It was her mother. From Aunt Lee. He learned that Sister Wen hadn't returned home. She had been off work for a long time, and her phone couldn't be reached. A storm surged in Lin Luo's chest, the sense of dread growing stronger. He urgently warned Aunt Lee never to open the windows or go outside, no matter what noises she heard. He knew all too well that without the power inherited from the dungeon, facing this chaos would be nothing but suicide. Sister Wen, please be safe. I'm coming for you, Lin Luo vowed. On his way to find her, the Black Emperor suddenly alerted him that someone was ahead. Following the direction given, Lin Luo spotted a woman lying in a pool of blood. The woman was far too injured to be saved, which only made Lin Luo more desperate to find Sister Wen. He summoned the Wish Lord at once, who immediately locked onto Wen Yuxi's location. The wish book glowed with a dazzling light. Moments later, 2 glowing markers appeared beneath his feet, one for him, the other for Sister Wen. With his direction clear, Lin Luo clenched his fist, vowing never to let the tragedy of his past life repeat. Meanwhile, on a street nearby, several massive locusts prowled as if searching for prey. Wen Yuxi and Wen were trapped inside a building, anxiously waiting for the inspectorate's rescue. A man beside them trembled in terror, muttering, "It's the end of the world, we're all going to die here. No one's getting out alive." Suddenly, an idea seemed to strike him. In the next instant, he lunged toward the 2 women like a rabid dog. Startled, they demanded to know what he was doing. The truth spilled out. He knew he wouldn't live much longer, and he wanted to die as a lustful ghost. When Yuxi pleaded for him to calm down, but Wen snapped, "Shameless bastard. Even if you were the last man left in the entire world, I still wouldn't let you touch me." He brushed Wen off, his gaze fixed on Wen Yuxi. Then, with a leering grin, threw Wen's very words back in her face. Just as Wen Yuxi was about to be assaulted, Wen lunged forward and grabbed him, holding him back with all her strength. But how could a woman possibly stand against him? With just a shove, Wen was thrown to the floor. The man unbuckled his belt, a filthy grin spreading across his face as his eyes locked hungrily on Wen Yuxi. Pinned beneath him, Wen Yuxi struggled with all her strength. Her reward was a vicious slap across the face, followed by his cold warning, "Don't make me force it on you. You'll regret it." Despair washed over her. Tears streamed down as she gave up resisting. Suddenly, the glass beside them shattered with a deafening crash. The man flinched, thinking a monster had broken in. A heartbeat later, a crushing force sent him flying across the room. Almost instantly, he was at Wen Yuxi's side. Looking at her with guilt and tenderness, he whispered, "I'm sorry, Sister Wen. I came too late." Furious that his sick pleasure was ruined, the man ranted that the building seal was broken and once the bugs got in, everyone would die. His expression darkened. This bastard was beyond saving. He summoned the Black Emperor. In the next breath, the Black Emperor appeared, clamping an iron hand around the man's throat. He had intended to force the man to confess what he meant to do to Sister Wen. But instead of answering, the man only screamed for help, as if he hadn't spoken at all. His voice thundered, "Tighten your grip." The Black Emperor crushed down even harder. Seeing the man finally ready to confess, the Black Emperor casually tossed him to the ground. To Lin Luo's surprise, the man suddenly lunged forward and clutched at Lin Luo's leg. He begged desperately to be spared, but his words, "he didn't do anything," only served to condemn him further. Lin Luo held out his hand and gave him 2 choices: stay and be beaten to death, or get out of the building and try to find any chance to survive. The man chose the latter without hesitation and ran off. As Lin Luo watched him disappear, the Wish Lord appeared. Lin Luo made his wish. Within 5 minutes, at least 500 insect creatures would swarm around that man. The Wish Lord waved his massive hand. "Master, your wish has been granted." Outside, the fleeing man cursed Lin Luo in his mind, convinced the shattered glass meant staying inside was suicidal, and he believed he knew a nearby safe spot. Before he could enjoy his relief, a giant locust slammed into him and sent him sprawling. In an instant, swarms of giant locusts poured in. Within 2 or 3 seconds, the man was reduced to a desiccated corpse eaten by the insects. Back inside the building, Lin Luo gently stroked Sister Wen's back and murmured, "It's okay now." Sister Wen looked up, confusion in her eyes, and asked, "Why did you let him go?" Lin Luo's reply was cold and uncompromising. Whoever harmed the people he cared about would only begin to atone if they died beneath the fangs of countless insects, even though it would repay only 1% of their crimes. Hearing that, Sister Wen finally let a small, relieved smile surface. At that moment, Kagaya popped up and cocked her head. "Master, will she be the one who becomes your girlfriend?" Lin Luo quickly cut Kagaya off, signaling her to stop talking. Kagaya immediately pressed the point like a divine wingman. "Stop denying it. You literally said she's important to you. Don't you like her, Master?" Lin Luo found himself wrestling with whether to give a straight answer. He knew the truth. His current strength wasn't yet enough to guard her every moment. Luckily, Wenwen, who had fainted earlier, came to at exactly the right moment, resolving his awkwardness. Sister Wen beamed and hugged Wenwen tight. Lin Luo stepped forward toward the two of them, but Wenwen, still shaken, misread him and froze, treating him like someone with bad intentions. Sister Wen hurried to calm her, then explained exactly what had happened before Wenwen passed out. After hearing it, Wenwen stole a glance at Lin Luo and couldn't help but gush inwardly. "That boy's so handsome." Lin Luo warned them not to linger. He'd broken the glass when he entered, and more insects would soon pour in through the doorway. Before long, Lin Luo escorted Sister Wen back to her home. When Aunt Lee opened the door, Sister Wen, still trembling from the ordeal, flung herself in her mother's arms, and her tears glittered like tiny stars. They went into the living room, and Aunt Lee placed a cup of coffee on the table, thanking Lin Luo for bringing her daughter back safely. Sister Wen asked about her father. Aunt Lee explained that he worked in a government office and had been asked to remain at his post awaiting orders. Lin Luo fell quiet, thinking, in his memory, Uncle Wen worked at the Hangsheng Administrative Center, the building with open, exposed entrances. Given the insects' phototropic instincts, they could easily swarm through such an entryway. With that resolve, Lin Luo told Aunt Lee he would head to the office right away to bring Uncle Wen back, but the mother and daughter protested, pleading with him not to take the risk. The outside world was far too dangerous. Lin Luo wore a resolute expression and said, "Don't worry, I'll get Uncle Wen back safe and sound." He soon arrived at the administrative center. The purple slime, streaking its facade, made clear this place had already been hit by the insect swarms. While he surveyed the scene, a fierce aura of pressure made Lin Luo's spine chill. He instantly went on full alert. Ordinary creatures in the insect plague rarely topped level 20. They wouldn't radiate this kind of oppression. Then, with a thunderous blast, the far side of the building exploded open. Standing that close, Lin Luo froze at the sight. Why would a higher-tier monster, a wormhole guardian, appear now? Normally, the so-called insect tier creatures hovered around level 20, but where a wormhole opens, guardians of far greater level emerge. Only by slaying a wormhole guardian could the afflicted zone be cleared. Before the chaos of the previous timeline, the authorities had offered rich bounties to encourage Awakened to join the wormhole hunts. This guardian before him looked to be at least level 30. Encountering one here was either a stroke of terrible luck or some twisted fate. Even with 3 powerful stands at his command, Lin Luo needed time to prepare. His top priority remained finding Uncle Wen. Almost at the same moment, Uncle Wen and a colleague inside the building were being frantically chased by a monster. Fortunately, they barreled into an office and slammed the door. Uncle Wen quickly shut it tight, then shouted for Lao Gu to drag a cabinet across to barricade the entrance. If the creature broke through, both of them would be doomed. Even so, the steel office door was already warping under the monster's relentless blows. 876. The suffocating fear of death had both men trembling, barely remembering to breathe. The next instant, the glass wall shattered with a sharp crack. Lao Gu snapped back to his senses, about to ask if the creature outside had finally gone. Instead, a familiar voice called from the hallway, asking if Uncle Wen was inside. Gathering their courage, the 2 men opened the door. And there was Lin Luo, waving at them casually, the slain creature pinned under his boot. Meanwhile, Yu Taijia and his party arrived at the forest sanctuary instance. But at the entrance, they froze. A notice flashed. Player Black Emperor has cleared the dungeon in 1 hour 52 minutes. Instance will refresh in 18 hours. Yu Taijia clenched his teeth in fury. He had spent precious time gathering the strongest awakened, missing out on several world achievements already. And now, even the instance had been snatched away. One of the men narrowed his eyes. For Black Emperor to solo a level 30 to 35 dungeon, no way his stand could sustain that much energy. Yu Taijia's face darkened. This instance allows shortcuts. If you help the NPCs at the right time, you can slip through. What he hadn't expected was someone else beating him to it. Su Tianshi then offered his theory. Black Emperor, like Yu Taijia, must also be someone who had returned from the future. The idea earned Yu Taijia's grim approval. All of them were double S-class awakened whose stands devoured energy on a massive scale. Yu Taijia made a quick decision. They would head to another instance. He refused to believe every dungeon had already been cleared. Inwardly, he swore. One day, he and Black Emperor would face each other in a true duel between men. Elsewhere, Lin Luo escorted Uncle One back home. The way Lin Luo carved through every monster on the road with a single strike left the man both shaken and intrigued. Lin Luo simply explained that he had awakened an S-class talent. Uncle One was stunned. His own awakening was only a D-class / strength, which at best let him sprint up 6 flights of stairs without stopping. Aunt Lee's awakening was a C-class / keen mind, useful for sharpening memory and staving off dementia. Just then, Sister Win's voice suddenly turned hauntingly beautiful. She had awakened an A-class talent, Heavenly Voice. It not only made her sound enchanting, but also worked like a healer's song, restoring stamina and granting powerful buffs. Aunt Lee, amused, turned to Lin Luo and asked what talent he had awakened. Luckily, Sister Win noticed his discomfort and quickly urged her mother not to pry into someone's privacy like that. Aunt Lee immediately apologized, saying she hadn't meant anything by it. Lin Luo shook his head lightly and replied that his talent was called Judgment of Justice, a power built for overwhelming offense. At that, Sister Win's eyes lit up. She praised him and asked if he could take her dungeon rating sometime. Lin Luo agreed without hesitation. To Uncle One, this was a golden chance. With an S-class awakening, Lin Luo was bound to become someone who could stir storms and shake the world if he seized the opportunity. Lin Luo only smiled faintly and thanked him for the reminder. As night fell, Uncle Wen suggested Lin Luo stay over in their spare room. Before Lin Luo could refuse, Sister Wen eagerly grabbed his hand and tried to drag him straight toward the bedroom. Watching them go, Uncle Wen sighed with emotion. The boy once scorned by everyone in the orphanage had now become his family savior. Fate, it seemed, had a strange way of circling back. That night, Lin Luo sat alone in the room, deep in thought. He had saved Sister Win's family from repeating tragedy, but he knew he couldn't remain here forever. His brother was still locked up in the inspectorate, waiting for him to come, which meant his top priority was to grow stronger and find his next S-class target for plunder. Elsewhere, in a shadowed corner of the world, a man chanted, "By the terror and despair of all living beings, manifest, feared demon king." Smoke billowed wildly, and a crimson silhouette slowly emerged, accompanied by a shrill, chittering laugh that echoed through the darkness. A skeletal hand suddenly shot out from the haze. The double S-class stand, Fear Demon King, had arrived. The man burst into wild laughter. So this is a double S-class stand? But the Fear Demon King's first words were, "My servant, go. Offer me the fear and despair of all living beings, and I shall grant you unmatched power." Hearing her father's manic voice, the daughter timidly whispered, "Dad." The man finally snapped back from the thrill of summoning such a monstrous stand. At least the beast had not stolen his humanity entirely. He stroked his daughter's head and told her to stay home and wait for his return. Yet behind him, The Fear Demon King cackled with its eerie jia jia jia, sending the girl trembling once again. She curled into a corner, too terrified to move. Out on the streets, the man was practically trembling with excitement. The double S-class stand's power was overwhelming. Monsters that crossed their path were crushed like ants, slaughtered in seconds even across tiers. In just 2.5 hours, the man's level skyrocketed to 8. With such strength at his command, he no longer feared ridicule. He swore he would make the woman who abandoned him live to regret her choice. Then the Fear Demon King's voice thundered once more. My servant, the fear of beasts is nothing, barely a morsel for me. True, boundless power can only be forged from the fear of human souls. That is the sweetest nourishment of all. The man hesitated at first, sickened by the thought of killing. But the Demon King's whispers gnawed at his mind, eroding his will. At last, hunger for power consumed him. He flipped the roles entirely, now calling the Fear Demon King his master. Meanwhile, I set one foot on the wall. Of the 15 officers of the Coffin of Smiles, Lu Ming and Zhou Yu had already fallen by my hand. The 2 remaining S-Class Awakeners were Hu Jinming and Bo Tao. So the Wish Lord locked onto the 2 targets for Lin Luo. As its power activated, a voice echoed. Master, your wish has been granted. Now there was only one task left. Seize his 5th S-Class stand as fast as possible. With the direction set, he launched off the rooftop. Whoosh, the hunt began. Moments later, the Fear Demon King shattered a door with a single punch. A man shielded his wife and infant, staring in terror at the intruder. Hu Jinming asked if simply frightening them would generate the fear it needed. But the father, desperate to protect his family, grabbed a weapon and charged without hesitation. In the next instant, he was run through by the Demon King. Hu Jinming watched in horror as his own stand savored the kill, licking its fingers with twisted delight. A cold dread gripped him. What kind of monster had he unleashed? The Demon King was already feeding on the man's soul energy. Finding it far too little, its gaze slid to the woman clutching the child. As it moved to strike, Hu Jinming stepped in front of her, shouting that he summoned it to farm monsters for levels, not to slaughter humans. Before he finished, the Demon King slammed him to the floor. Born from his craving for the despair and fear of all beings, it was a true calamity-level stand. It sneered, ordering him to drop the facade of mercy and serve obediently. Once it had its fun, power would follow. A sickly green flare burst. The Demon King warped his mind again, commanding him to kill the woman himself. A flicker of reason still lingered within Hu Jinming, but the Demon King had no intention of yielding control. As that green energy flooded into him, the last shred of kindness vanished, replaced by bottomless malice. Hu Jinming slowly picked up the dagger from the floor. In the next heartbeat, he aimed the blade at mother and child, even as the woman pleaded for her infant's life. All she met was his crazed lunge. And at that very moment, Lin Luo vaulted into the room. The sight before Lin Luo jolted his spirit awake. Hu Jinming's face was twisted into something monstrous, and at his feet lay the corpse of the woman. Rage blazed in Lin Luo's chest. Black Emperor, kill these beasts. At his command, the Black Emperor launched forward without a shred of hesitation. But the Fear Demon King, a dual S-rank stand, casually raised its hand and blocked the assault. The moment it sensed a powerful, emotionally charged soul, the demon grew ecstatic. With overwhelming force, it sent the Black Emperor flying back. A sharp whoosh cut through the air as the feared Demon King blurred forward, because plunging its prey into terror and despair would multiply its power tenfold, even 100-fold. The sudden ferocity left Lin Luo momentarily stunned. Thankfully, Kagaya intervened, intercepting the devastating punch. Even so, cold sweat trickled down Lin Luo's back. At that blinding speed, without Kagaya's shield, he would almost certainly have fallen. Seeing its delicacy protected, the Fear Demon King grew frenzied, fists raining down on the umbrella in a deafening barrage. Lin Luo roared, "Black Emperor!" With a sharp whoosh, the Black Emperor's fist smashed into the demon's skull. Yet even after taking the blow, the Fear Demon King's wounds sealed almost instantly, its fury ignited to the extreme. Dark red energy swelled across its arm, pulsing like a storm about to break. Luckily, the Black Emperor thrived on brute strength. In their head-to-head clash, he refused to give an inch. Seeing the situation unfold, Lin Luo barked an order. Kagaya switched to Rainy Night, blade form, and joined the fight. As Kagaya charged forward, a glint of malice flickered in the Fear Demon King's eyes. To it, the Black Emperor and Kagaya were nothing more than ants. In an instant, a violent surge of energy exploded outward from the demon's core, blasting back the nearby Black Emperor and sending Kagaya flying before she could even close in. Lin Luo caught Kagaya firmly in his arms, steadying her midair. Meanwhile, before the Black Emperor even hit the ground, the Fear Demon King had already raised both arms high. Acting fast, Lin Luo summoned the Green Goblin. Under the demon's startled gaze, the creature's tendrils lashed out, instantly coiling around its arms. Within mere seconds, more tendrils swarmed and bound the Fear Demon King tight. Almost simultaneously, with the three stands working in unison, Kagaya drove her blade straight into its body. The Fear Demon King could not comprehend how its protective aura had failed to block the strike. Yet even in its final moments, it spat venomous words. It was the embodiment of fear itself, and as long as fear lingered in human hearts, it would inevitably return. Lin Luo answered coldly. Even if you come back, you'll kneel at my feet, because by then, I'll already be invincible. In truth, what sealed the demon's fate wasn't only the restraint of the Black Emperor and Green Goblin. The decisive factor was that Kagaya's strikes carried the power of true damage. As Lin Luo pondered, a piercing scream snapped him back to the moment. Hu Jinming, having just broken free of the Demon King's control, had realized the murders he committed. He stared in horror at the three corpses, trembling all over. He kept repeating to himself, I killed them. I killed them. Only when a boot appeared in his field of vision did Hu Jinming come to his senses. Lin Luo's face went cold. He ordered the man to speak his last words before death. Hu Jinming glanced up. Immediately, he bent over and begged for mercy, insisting he had been mind-controlled and never meant to kill. Lin Luo did not relent. Killing must be paid for by blood, and as long as Hu Jinming lived, the Fear Demon King might return to wreak havoc again. The man froze, then seemed to steel himself. He accepted Lin Luo's verdict. One final request followed. Would Lin Luo lie to his daughter? Tell her father had gone far away and would not return for a very long time? After Hu Jinming finished his last words, Lin Luo wasted no time. He drove the blade through the man. As he did, Lin Luo murmured, "Don't worry. I will look after your daughter until she grows up." Tears in his eyes, the man whispered, "Thank you." With Hu Jinming's life extinguished, a system notification appeared before Lin Luo. Choose one attribute to plunder. Target stats, talent effect, skill effect, or soul power. Lin Luo realized that choosing soul power could advance one of his S-class talents into a double S-class. But after remembering the Fear Demon King's terrifying strength, he felt that hesitating even a second would be a sign of disrespect. Even if the stand could backfire and try to control its host, Lin Luo was supremely confident he could tame it. As the plunder talent activated, the system began extracting the prize. Lin Luo successfully acquired his first double S-class talent, the Emotion Detonator. The talent's cooldown and effective range were absurdly large. Yet if its function were merely to sense emotions, that alone wouldn't justify a double S rank. Suddenly an idea struck him. Perhaps this talent could, like Rainy Night, grant additional attributes to a stand. He barked, "Come forth, my stand." In an instant, smoke swirled across the sky and lightning cracked. To Lin Luo's surprise, an egg materialized before him. He froze, blurting out, "What the hell is this? Where's my demon?" With that question in mind, he opened the new stand's attribute panel. The entry read, "The stand is named Fetal Stir. It requires the host to select a specific emotion within a 300,000-meter radius for the stand to absorb as nourishment before it can be born. In other words, the stand has no fixed abilities or form. Its nature is determined by the host's later choices. With that in mind, Lin Luo decided to first test the emotion sensing effect. In an instant, complaints about life, terror at the disaster, and worries for loved ones flooded Lin Luo's mind. In barely 2.5 seconds, his mental resilience teetered on the brink of collapse. Thankfully, the emotion sensing skill lasted only 5 seconds. Still, the sheer volume of data collected in those 5 seconds would be overwhelming for anyone but a mage with extraordinary mental fortitude. The whole city lay shrouded in white mist. The insect swarms that fed on humans had saturated the area with palpable fear. Hu Jinming had likely chosen fear as the fetal stir's nourishment, hence the birth of that uncontrollable fear demon king. For now, Lin Luo needed to wait for the skill's cooldown and run the test several more times to select the right emotion. After reaching that conclusion, he summoned the Wish Lord and ordered it to lock onto Hu Jinming's daughter, Hu Xinyue. Some time later, Hu Xinyue still sat at home, waiting for her father to return. A sudden ring of the doorbell drew her attention. She heard someone outside claiming to be her father's friend. The door creaked open, and there stood Lin Luo. They moved to the dining room, and Hu Xinyue anxiously asked when her father would be back. Lin Luo recited the dying man's lie and promised he would take care of the girl's daily life. Far from suspicious, Hu Xinyue, whose emotion-sensing gift let her read the pure kindness in Lin Luo, was convinced he was genuinely good. It turned out her talent let her probe the emotional core of others. So she believed Lin Luo and her father must have been close friends. Feeling some pity for Hu Jinming, Lin Luo decided he would find a kind family to adopt her once the white mist cleared. The world was in chaos. Tragedies like Hu Jinming's were neither the first nor the last. In such times, worldly conventions mattered little. Right and wrong, justice and injustice, were torn to shreds by reality. Lin Luo vowed inwardly. He would become the ruler of the future, and those who stood in his way would become bones beneath his feet. His immediate objective was clear: take down the Wormhole Guardian. The creature's size rivaled an entire apartment block. It was a dreadfully imposing presence. Though labeled a level 34 rank monster, its stats eclipsed those of the level 35 Plunder Lord by orders of magnitude. Its two skills, Parasitic Legion and Royal Worm's Roar, could summon hordes of insects, a merciless sea of bugs tactic. Fortunately, aside from size and summoning power, the Void King Worm had no particular standouts, making its bloated stats the perfect target for the Black Emperor's plunder and seize. Lin Luo waved his hand. Go, Black Emperor. Kagaya. The new talent I just seized is a growth type. Whether hatches faster is up to you. Both stands answered in unison. As you command, mighty master. The Black Emperor immediately unleashed its plunder and seize. But to Lin Luo's surprise, the system chimed. The Wormhole Guardian's body is coated in extra-dimensional power. Your stand's ability is about to fail. The Void King Worm roared, a deafening cry, as a crimson pillar of light shot skyward. Strange whispers suddenly echoed in Lin Luo's ears. In an instant, countless dimensional insects swarmed toward him like a living tide. Meanwhile, Yu Taijie and his party arrived at Lingyin Temple, high among the clouds. According to his memories from a past life, the Wormhole Guardian's first appearance was right here. If they could slay it, not only would the city's crisis ease, but they would also hit the requirement for second transfer faster than anyone else. Hearing this, Lu Tianshi suggested that before finding the Guardian, they should pick a captain from among the five to coordinate the fight. After all, in the entire Hangxing region, no stronger awakeners existed. Yu Taijie immediately saw through him. Lu Tianshi wanted the leader's seat. With his power, he could easily crush anyone here except Yu Taijie himself. But Yu Taijie countered, saying that although this team gathered the highest talents, the so-called Black Emperor had a head start. He might not be weaker than anyone present. For now, What mattered most was using his past life memory to level up as fast as possible. Lu Tianshi bristled, dismissing the Black Emperor as nothing. No matter how strong that man was, he could never surpass him and Yu Taijia, both wielders of Triple S talents. He went further, claiming Yu Taijia was overreacting and boasted he would kill the Black Emperor himself, regaining the lost power for Yu Taijia. Yu Taijia's face turned cold. No need. I'll reclaim what I've lost with my own hands. But Lu Tianshi's eyes lit up. To him, if he killed the Black Emperor, he could seize Yu Taijia's power for himself. Then Yu Taijia, stripped of his peak state, would be nothing more than a pawn in his hands. Yu Taijia then ordered their new member, Hawkeye, to scan the area. Hawkeye unleashed his ability to the fullest. The results stunned the group. Within 10 kilometers, the strongest life form was only a level 7 giant scythe mantis. Complaints erupted, but Yu Taijia quickly realized the truth. Because the plague disaster broke out early, the extra-dimensional wormhole had shifted its location. Meanwhile, Lin Luo was surrounded by endless swarms. Though the summoned creatures were low-level, their sheer numbers threatened to drown him alive. Even with his current strength, survival wasn't guaranteed. Yet, as the saying goes, search high and low only to find it by chance. This endless horde meant endless experience points. With a sweeping gesture, Lin Luo commanded his two stands to revel in the feast. Kagaya answered first. One slash was enough to cut down over a dozen insects. The Black Emperor followed, smashing through the swarm with devastating blows, clearing vast patches in seconds. His interface flooded with notifications, experience skyrocketing. At the same time, reporter Yao Mushi hovered above in a helicopter, broadcasting the catastrophe. Hangcheng was now shrouded in white mist, its communications completely dead. Suddenly, the cameraman gasped, urging Yao to look ahead. Zooming in, the lens revealed a colossal monster rising from the clouds, and atop its body, a lone figure was locked in battle. Even in this new age of class transfers, someone who could clash with a monster the size of a mountain was no doubt a hero. Not just of China, but of the entire world. Yao Mushi immediately ordered the chopper closer. The world had to witness this hero with their own eyes. But the swarm was overwhelming. Lin Luo himself was gasping for breath. Even the Black Emperor and Kagaya were nearly drained of their energy. With that thought, Lin Luo crushed a shard of divine crystal and warned his stands to never let the swarm get close. Fully restored, the two stands roared back. Understood, our great master. Yet even with the crystal replenishing their strength, the mana drain of the Windblade barrage was relentless. Just then, the system chimed. His level had risen to 24. To Lin Luo, this upgrade was nothing short of a lifesaver. Without hesitation, he poured part of his free stat points into agility. The rest went straight into raising 10,000 swords returned to level 5. At once, the skill's mana cost dropped sharply, and the number of wind blades per second surged from 3 to 7. Even his inherited dungeon power climbed to 67%. With these boosts, Lin Luo finally had the confidence to clash head-on with the monster. He shouted, "Black Emperor, Kagaya, crush them all." In that instant, every insect blocking his path was annihilated. His target, none other than the Rift Guardian, the Void Kingworm. The colossal creature loomed before him like a mountain come to life. But now, Lin Luo's eyes held not a trace of fear. In the next breath, he unleashed the Storm Swordsman's Windblade barrage at full power. At the same time, he ordered Black Emperor and Kagaya not to worry about his safety, only to strike with everything they had. Then, the Wishing Lord was summoned. "Wishing Lord, I wish that no insect can come within 1 meter of me." Golden light flared as the reply came. "Great Master, your wish has been granted." Lin Luo crushed a berserk crystal, boosting all his stand's power by 30% for a short time. Almost at the same moment, he shouted, "Come out, Green Goblin!" In less than a heartbeat, the nearest insect was skewered clean through by the goblin's writhing tendrils. After Black Emperor and Kagaya landed heavy blows on the Void King worm, the entire battlefield suddenly shook violently. A surge of energy burst from the worm's back, rippling outward. It was obvious this was one of its ultimate skills, King's Roar. Its health had dropped below 30%. Lin Luo barked, "Black Emperor, Kagaya, keep hitting it. Don't give this beast a chance to breathe." Overhead, reporter Yao Mushi was still filming, refusing to look away. To her, even with the world on the brink, the people of Huaxiao would never bow to disaster. She swore she'd bring this footage back intact, to show everyone that in this age of despair, a lone young man fought on, giving everything for humanity. Down below, the swarm multiplied, pushing Lin Luo's stamina to the breaking point. Yet suddenly, his energy snapped back to full. It was the Wishing Lord quietly activating his power behind him. Lin Luo started to thank him, but the reply was firm, "To ease my master's burden, that is my duty." With buffs stacking on every side, Lin Luo's confidence surged. He roared, "Come on, Void King Worm, it ends here." As he unleashed a furious assault, he summoned Green Goblin once more, its tendrils slamming straight into the worm's head. But that wasn't nearly enough. Lin Luo raised his hand, summoning countless golden blades into the sky. In an instant, the weapons rained down, carrying devastating force. Die 10,000 swords return. The Void King Worm let out a scream that shook the heavens and earth. The scream was so piercing that Yao Mushi on the helicopter had to clamp her hands over her ears. As Lin Luo's arms gathered more and more strength, he roared, "Die, Void King Worm." His strike cleaved through its neck, yet the beast still refused to die. Without hesitation, Lin Luo leapt from the sky. Using sheer momentum, he delivered the finishing blow. At that moment, a global announcement rang out. Congratulations to player Black Emperor for becoming the first in the world to slay a wormhole guardian. Reward: 1 Destiny Roulette 10 pull ticket and 10 Destiny crystals. On top of that, with all the stacked bonuses, he gained a staggering 43.2 million experience points. His level shot up by 3 in a row. As for the Destiny crystals, they boosted equipment forging success by 50%, best reserved for top-tier gear. Yao Mushi's face froze in shock. She never imagined that the boy before her was none other than the infamous Black Emperor. Her eyes grew misty with emotion. The legend who had claimed global achievements was, in truth, still so young. Lin Luo lifted his gaze toward the figures hovering in the sky. Seeing that confident smile, Yao Mushi felt her heart stir. She swore that if the chance ever came, she'd interview this young hero herself. Before long, the Void King Worm's massive corpse dissolved into drifting motes of light, fading completely away. With the wormhole guardian dead, the swarm vanished along with it. Before long, the suffocating white mist shrouding Hangzhou would also fade away. Black Emperor spoke up, "Master, someone recorded that entire battle on video. Could it cause problems?" Lin Luo replied calmly, telling him not to worry. If the footage spread, it would only raise his reputation and maybe even help with his brother's situation. Thinking back on the fight, Lin Luo realized his stock of divine crystals was nearly depleted. It was time to head to the forest sanctuary for supplies. He then made a wish, ordering the Lord of Wishes to open a random portal and, once the dungeon was over, to track Ji Weining's location. Meanwhile, inside a secluded studio, a group of spoiled heirs had gathered in a circle. On the bed lay Ji Weining, dressed in little more than scraps. They had lured her back from overseas, their real intent being to force her into shooting an adult film. At a single word of command, the group tore her clothing apart. Seeing her lie motionless on the floor, one man sneered, praising her acting skills. Their eyes turned hungry with greed. None of them realized that behind one man, a voluptuous and sultry stand had silently appeared. At the same time, Lin Luo, guided by the Lord of Wishes, was already heading toward Ji Weining's location. Yet, doubt not at him. There was no way Ji Weining would willingly be inside such an abandoned factory. The deliberately severed chains only deepened his suspicion. He immediately ordered Black Emperor to take point and open the gate. As the factory doors creaked open, drained corpses came into view, as if some force had sucked them bone dry. To be safe, Lin Luo wished aloud. For the next 30 seconds, no attack can harm me. But the moment the wish was granted, a pink beam of light exploded before his eyes. In the blink of an eye, Lin Luo collapsed backward, his 3 stands staring in shock. Luckily, Kaguya reacted instantly, appearing right behind Lin Luo. A silver bell laugh rang out as a seductive silhouette slowly emerged from the smoke. The Lord of Wishes quickly gave instructions. Black Emperor would stay and guard the master, while he and Kaguya would hunt down the enemy in a mist. Without hesitation, the 2 stands rushed straight into the smoke. Lin Luo gasped heavily, his consciousness slipping away. When he opened his eyes again, the scene around him had turned into a wedding chamber. On the bedside table sat a photo, his wedding portrait with Sister Wen. Just then, 2 voices called out. Before him stood Sister Wen in a wedding dress, side by side with Kaguya. The sight alone nearly made Lin Luo's heart stop. Snapping back to his senses, he quickly asked why they were here. Instead of an answer, he was caught in a pincer attack. Kaguya leaned in, whispering she'd help him relax, while Sister Wen teased, "A night of spring is worth 1,000 gold." Meanwhile, in reality, Kaguya's fierce power drove the succubus queen back step by step. The queen couldn't win in a direct clash, but inside this pink illusion, her domain, she took no real damage. Seeing Kaguya halt her assault, the succubus queen mocked her, sneering that she must be too far from her master to keep fighting. Kaguya demanded of the Lord of Wishes. The master clearly made a wish, so why did he still fall unconscious? The Lord of Wishes admitted he was baffled, since the wish had indeed been fulfilled. The succubus queen then revealed the truth. It wasn't an attack at all, but a trick to make one's sweetest fantasies come true, dragging the victim into indulgent dreamscapes. And once a man lost control inside that dream, his fate would be nothing less than death by exhaustion. The Lord of Wishes gave the succubus queen a faint nod of thanks for her explanation. Then he spread his arms wide, unleashing the power of the Book of Wishes, and shouted, "Release my master from this state." A golden light instantly surged into Lin Luo's mind. Within the illusion, Lin Luo snapped awake, realizing it was nothing but a dream. He often fantasized about Sister One, but there was no way she would ever act so forward. With a sharp crack, the beautiful illusion shattered like glass. Moments later, Lin Luo's consciousness returned fully to reality. Kaguya rushed to his side, crying out, "Master, you're finally awake. Thank goodness the Lord of Wishes pulled you out of that illusion." The succubus queen was stunned, unable to comprehend how her proud pink mirage could be broken so easily. Lin Luo now understood. The so-called paradise had been nothing but her stand's ability. At that moment, the Black Emperor roared in fury. "You dare harm my master? D." But the succubus queen was an S-rank stand. In the blink of an eye, she slipped out of his attack range. Lin Luo thought grimly. Asterisk that speed, and the fact she caught me even after a wish was granted. This stand is far from simple. Asterisk. Just then, the Black Emperor dragged Ji whinnying out from behind a corner. Ji whinnying hurriedly pleaded, "I didn't mean for that to happen." Lin Luo pointed coldly at the drained corpses nearby and asked if she had killed them. As Ji whinnying recounted the vile deeds of those men, she suddenly turned and unleashed her innate ability on Lin Luo. His face darkened at once. "Kaguya, finish her!" Without a shred of hesitation, Kaguya's blade pierced straight through Ji whinnying's chest. She died in disbelief, never understanding why her proud S-rank ability had completely failed. Lin Luo's voice was like ice. "Those scum deserve to die, but you dared target me as well. That alone proves you were never worth sparing." After triggering the plunder, Lin Luo seized Ji whinnying's S-rank talent, Fatal Temptation. It could twist a man's mind for a short time. Though its weakness was clear, it only worked on the opposite sex, and the stronger their will, the slower its effect. With that in mind, he called forth his newest stand. "Come out, Succubus Queen!" A flash of light, and the mighty Succubus Queen appeared as a flat-chested little lowly. Lin Luo froze, speechless. She caught the doubt in his eyes and giggled. "Master, you look a little disappointed." With a sharp whoosh, she morphed into a sultry goddess, voice dripping with allure. "Does Master prefer me like this instead?" Lin Luo coughed awkwardly and quickly ordered her back to the previous form. She covered her mouth and laughed, switching back in an instant, teasing, "Master looks so cute when he's shy." Her status panel revealed her dual forms. The lowly form consumed no energy, while the mature form devoured energy but multiplied her charm against men fivefold. Stats showed she was a battle-type stand through and through. Energy maxed out, and her skill Pink Mirage was a terrifying control ability. Once an enemy was trapped, finishing them off was effortless. With time to spare, Lin Luo ordered the Lord of Wishes to lock onto Lu Jianning's location. He recalled that both Ji Weining and Ice Fury Lu Jianning belonged to the same group, Wrath of Arad. Before long, Lu Jianning staggered home, covered in wounds, grumbling that his so-called dual S-rank talent was garbage, because it only triggered when he was injured or in danger. But when he pushed open his bedroom door, he found a girl lying on his bed, face flushed with shyness. Lu Jianning frowned, asking why she was there. The girl, Xiaohong, lifted her head and said softly, "Brother Jianning, I came back just for you." Rage surged through him. Back then, Xiaohong had clung to a richer man and dumped him without hesitation. But before he could even finish cursing her, Xiaohong suddenly lunged forward, pressing a kiss onto his lips. Xiaohong pulled Lu Jianning onto the bed, whispering, "Brother Jianning, can't you forgive me? Tonight, punish me however you like." Those words ignited him completely. Lu Jianning lost control, shoving her down as his rage turned into burning desire. Watching him sink deeper into the illusion, Lin Luo couldn't help but marvel. The Succubus Queen truly lived up to her name. He hadn't even noticed being trapped in the Pink Mirage. Without hesitation, Lin Luo gave the order, "Heim of the Night, strike!" The blade flashed cold as Heim swung down without mercy. But in the very next instant, Lu Jianning, still in his sleep, caught the edge with his bare hand. The shocking sight left Lin Luo stunned. What the hell? The temperature around them plummeted. Out of nowhere, the dual S-rank stand, Frost Destroyer, materialized. Realizing the danger, Lin Luo barked, "Black Emperor, Green Devil, assist her." Before Black Emperor could even close in, Heim was flung aside with a single strike, smashing hard against the wall. Almost simultaneously, Frost Destroyer conjured a massive ice barrier, blocking Black Emperor's crushing blow. But Black Emperor was built for brute force. One savage punch shattered the barrier apart. In that same instant, Frost Destroyer unleashed his skill. Chains of ice shot out faster than the eye could follow. Black Emperor was caught off guard, his limbs bound tight once again. At the same time, another chain shot straight toward Lin Luo like lightning. Just as it was about to strike, Heim cut in, her blade cleaving through the icy shackle before it reached him. Lin Luo sneered coldly. "So Lu Jianning's awakened stand can auto-guard its master. Then this ability is mine." He immediately ordered Black Emperor and Green Demon to retreat. Seeing this, Frost Annihilator crossed its arms and mocked. "What's wrong? Lost the courage to strike at me." But what Frost Annihilator hadn't expected was that its little scheme had already been seen through by Lin Luo. It had planned to remain still, baiting Lin Luo with words until he made a mistake, then killing the human host in one blow. With its ploy exposed, Frost Annihilator gnashed its teeth in rage. From the previous clash, it was clear its level was at least above S rank. In solo combat, Lin Luo's stands couldn't match it. Lin Luo raised his hand and unleashed the talent Perfect Fusion. "Go, Black Emperor Kagaya, fuse!" The two stands' energies intertwined, rapidly merging. With a burst of dazzling light, a new figure slowly emerged. In that instant, a new form led by Kagaya was born, Black Emperor Kagaya. Her level far surpassed S rank, with terrifying strength and agility stats off the charts. Her active skill, Blade of Fury, could, with each strike, randomly steal 3/10 of the enemy's attributes or abilities. Not only that, under this Black Emperor form, every attack she launched dealt 250 true damage. Her passive, Black Emperor Armor, added 6,000 armor points, perfectly patching her natural fragility. While Lin Luo was still thinking, the fused Kagaya had already charged forward. Feeling the crushing pressure, Frost Annihilator decided to hold nothing back and unleashed its skill Frost Fangs at full power. Yet under Black Emperor Kagaya's sweeping strikes, the ice spikes shattered instantly like glass. Realizing its attacks were useless, Frost Annihilator roared and unleashed its trump card, Eternalized Coffin. With a deafening boom, a massive ice coffin burst from the ground, surging straight toward Black Emperor Kagaya with destructive force. As the ice coffin sealed shut, cracks spread across its surface in an instant. Under the stunned gaze of the Frost Destroyer, Kagaya of the Black Emperor burst free, taunting coldly, "Use whatever you've got. Don't waste my time." The Frost Destroyer was so terrified it wet itself, screaming, "Stay away from me." It demanded to know how Kagaya could endure so many frost attacks. Didn't she feel pain? Kagaya replied with icy disdain, "Just a few snowflakes. Where's the pain in that?" In the blink of an eye, she closed in and unleashed a blade that could bury all, the Savage Raid. Desperate, the Frost Destroyer threw everything it had: 0-degree ice armor, Frost Nova, Frozen Rainstorm. Yet Kagaya cut straight through them head-on. When the blade struck its shoulder, the Frost Destroyer showed no fear. It believed its 0-degree ice armor was unbreakable, and the surrounding chill would cripple her speed. But Kagaya only sneered as the Black Emperor's armor on her body began to crack. The fusion of Black Emperor and Kagaya shattered. Yet when the armor broke, it erased all debuffs and boosted her agility by 60 points. In a flash of lightning, Kagaya delivered the finishing blow. With its dying breath, the Frost Destroyer muttered, "Impossible. How could I lose?" A moment later, it shattered into countless shards of ice. Kagaya left only one line behind: "I will safeguard my master's glory." Without his stand's protection, Lu Jining was nothing but a lamb to the slaughter. He was sent straight to hell by Kagaya. Then Kagaya approached Lin Luo. "Master, I did not fail you. I've completed the mission you gave me." Beside her, the Black Emperor pointed at himself. "Same here." Lin Luo gave both of his stands a few words of praise. Then, he plundered Lu Jining's talent for himself. As a surge of power flooded his body, Lin Luo instantly knew this stolen talent had to be above S rank, certain to boost his strength dramatically. He hurriedly pulled up his attribute panel. It displayed a talent called Persona Mask, the ability to summon a guardian spirit through one's own personality and will. Though rated SS rank, it only activated when the host was in mortal danger, and the closer to death, the stronger the guardian would become. The moment he finished reading, Lin Luo nearly lost it. Wasn't this talent basically useless? Refusing to give up, he waved his hand. "Come out, guardian spirit." Yet only the sound of crows seemed to echo. No stand appeared, and even the surroundings fell eerily silent. "I went through all that trouble to grab 2 SS stands, and they're just for display." Then, a crazy idea popped into his head. He gestured a throat slit at Kagaya, signaling her to strike him down. His reasoning was simple. The new talent only triggered in life or death situations. If he were attacked, maybe it would finally appear. At his command, Kagaya didn't hesitate. "Master, here I come." True to her word, her blade came slashing straight down. But just a hair's breadth away, barely 0.1 centimeters from his neck, she screeched to a halt. Any closer, and Kagaya would have become the first stand to kill her own master. After a while, Lin Luo was still puzzled. Why hadn't the new stand appeared? The Lord of Wishes gave the answer. "Master, perhaps it's because your stand didn't sense true danger." When Kagaya struck, she held no killing intent. Lin Luo nodded in agreement. So he ordered the Black Emperor to strike, break his bones if needed, but hold nothing back. Unlike Kagaya, the Black Emperor had no hesitation, flashing to Lin Luo's side in an instant. As the lethal punch was about to land, the world around him froze. A solemn voice resounded. "I have felt it. Your unshakable will and courage. The path you walk, the justice you uphold. Allow me to witness it. From this day forth, you are me, and I am you." As the persona mask took form, the voice thundered again. "Now, cry out with the injustice and fury in your heart, with your ambition and desire for the future, together with my name." Lin Luo swung his arm wide. "Come forth, Savior." In that instant, his first SS rank stand, the Savior, finally descended. The first thing it did was blast the Black Emperor away. It declared coldly that with just one command, it would send the Black Emperor straight to hell. The Black Emperor shot back without flinching, daring it to try and see who would fall first. Seeing a battle about to erupt, Lin Luo immediately put a stop to them. His face darkened. "Since when did you think you could ignore my orders and act on your own?" The two stands quickly repented and apologized for their behavior. Their attitude satisfied him. If it had been the Fear Demon King instead, it would have dragged him straight into the fight. The Savior's stats, however, far surpassed those of any S-rank stand. Its skill Othershore Bloom could instantly restore the host's HP to full and clear all debuffs. Its skill New World dealt 1 to 1,500 true AoE damage to enemies. Its skill Eternal Paradise was a support ability, boosting all ally states by 30% within 100 meters while lowering enemy hostility by 20%. Truly, these three skills were versatile and overwhelming, leaving the Frost Destroyer far behind. Lin Luo then asked the Savior what its 23% form meant. The Savior replied, based on the level of danger to its master, it only needed to use 23% of its strength to shoulder the burden. But the Succubus Queen instantly stirred trouble, saying, "So you're saying with just 23% of your power, you can block this iron lump, the Black Emperor?" The Savior answered matter-of-factly, "Correct. Using even 1% more would be a waste." The Black Emperor felt utterly insulted and immediately wanted to brawl with the Savior. Lin Luo stepped in once again to stop the two fools. On the spot, he flicked the Succubus Queen on the forehead and warned her not to stir up trouble again. The Succubus Queen dove into Kagaya's arms, whining, "Sister Kagaya, Master hit me." The scene instantly devolved into chaos. Lin Luo sighed helplessly, thinking his team was a nightmare to manage. Each stand was smart and strong-willed, and if he ever lost consciousness again, they'd probably spiral out of control. So he issued a strict command. If he ever blacked out, all stands must obey the Lord of Wishes. The Lord of Wishes immediately asked if this order was genuine. Kagaya, the Succubus Queen, and the Black Emperor all answered in unison. "At your command, Great Master." The Savior, however, was clearly displeased. Only when Lin Luo glanced at it did it grudgingly agree. Before leaving, it muttered, "The Master's crisis is over," and vanished. With that reassurance, the Lord of Wishes swore an oath never to betray his master's trust. Meanwhile, Yu Taijie and the others were locked in a heated argument over how to split the spoils. Their original agreement was simple. Yu Taijie took 40%, Lu Tianshi 30%, and the rest got 10 each. But now, with Huitaro and others growing stronger, they demanded the shares be recalculated by strength. The quarrel escalated fast. Yu Taijie finally summoned the King of Time. The moment he saw it, Huitaro instantly backed down, too scared to keep arguing. Still, Yu Taijie offered a compromise. Items gained from dungeon raids would be discussed separately. Any objections? His dim-witted teammates looked at each other in confusion. Yu Taijie patiently explained. There were 12 remaining energy dungeons in Hangsheng, 4 for him and Huitaro to split. Each of the others got 1, and the last 4 would be contested fairly by strength. The only rule was simple. When raiding a dungeon together, no deadly duels were allowed. Lu Tianshi then asked Yu Taijie, "What if I need the perfect strategy for a dungeon?" Yu Taijie replied that since they were tackling dungeons individually, it wasn't his problem. If Lu wanted a flawless strategy from him, he'd have to hand over 10% of his loot. Lu Tianxia agreed without hesitation, but secretly thought if he ever angered these three muscleheads again and Yu Taijie sided with them, he'd be in serious trouble. With that, he left first. The other three accepted Yu Taijie's proposal as well. And so, this makeshift alliance split up to act on their own. Though Yu Taijie was deeply dissatisfied, he knew full well these four dragons among men. They would never settle for being beneath anyone. His stand, the king of time, sensed his thoughts and comforted him. Master, you've done well. Yu Taijie patted her head, but still resolved to seek out his old teammates first. Meanwhile, Lin Luo led his four stands toward a brand new dungeon, the Tomb of Tears. This dungeon was the same level as the forest sanctuary, and within it, the ashes of the fallen served the same purpose as divine crystal shards, restoring stand energy. In his previous life, such energy-rich dungeons had been monopolized, leaving Lin Luo without even a chance to approach them. Now, though there was almost no strategy guide for this dungeon, Lin Luo was confident that even in sudden crises, he could bulldoze through. So he called out, "Everyone, get ready for battle." As they stepped through the entrance, bone-chilling winds howled through the canyon. The succubus queen instantly leapt at him with a bear hug, whining, "Master, Mayor is freezing." Lin Luo turned to the others. "And you?" All three claimed they weren't cold, but Kagaya's flushed cheeks betrayed her lie. Fortunately, Lin Luo had prepared a girl's jacket just for her. Soon, both the succubus queen and Kagaya were sporting fresh new skins. Just then, the Lord of Wishes spoke up, noting something strange about the dungeon. The ground shook, mountains rumbled, the signal that enemies would arrive in 30 seconds. Lin Luo immediately ordered the Black Emperor to hold the line. His goal was to buy time to strengthen the team before the real fight began. The Black Emperor charged in, mowing enemies down like weeds. At the same time, Lin Luo made a wish to the Lord of Wishes. "In this 10 pull, I must get an item of S rank or higher." The Lord of Wishes responded, "Master, your wish has been granted." Lin Luo crushed the key to activate the Wheel of Fate. When the pointer spun wildly, under his astonished gaze, it landed on a triple S Ascension crystal, a 1 in a million drop. Overjoyed, Lin Luo showered the Lord of Wishes with praise. The Lord of Wishes finally breathed a silent sigh of relief. If he had failed to satisfy his master again, a scolding was inevitable. This top-tier Ascension crystal could raise an A-rank talent straight to S rank and even summon a stand. On the market, it was worth at least several billion Huaxia coins. Its flaw, however, was that it only granted 70 talent experience points, not enough to push Plunder up to double S rank. With that in mind, Lin Luo decided to save the crystal for his brother. Once his brother's talent reached S rank and awakened a stand, rescuing him would be far easier. As for the other items, they all went to the Black Emperor. Energy surged into it, and in an instant, the Black Emperor erupted with unprecedented might, its defense, agility, and movement range all enhanced. With a single punch to the ground, every monster nearby was obliterated. The next step was to figure out the perfect strategy for this dungeon. In his memory, players had to assist the Second Legion of the Sanctuary in investigating the Tomb of Heroes. There, they would encounter a necromancer of the witch cult, defeat that necromancer, and the Legion would grant the king's ashes as a reward. Of course, there was a riskier but far more profitable path, betrayal and slaughter. So Lin Luo commanded, "Kagaya, help the Black Emperor wipe out the enemy. Then we'll carve our way out." At once, Kagaya joined the battlefield. Lin Luo ordered the Black Emperor to finish the fight at top speed. Little did he know, this massacre was being watched. To the necromancer, these youths were impressive, managing to leave the zone before the mist descended. A woman at his side noted that only one of them was human. The rest were summoned stands. And that lone human seemed to be the so-called child of destiny. Meanwhile, on the other side of the canyon, a 100-man squad trudged through the snowstorm. Their commander, Reinhard of the Sanctuary Legion, ordered the troops to accelerate through the King's Gorge. They would crush the witch cult today. Fired up by his command, the soldiers marched with fierce resolve. Just then, two figures appeared in Reinhardt's line of sight. Soon, Lin Luo arrived with the Black Emperor and Kagaya, claiming he had intelligence on the enemy camp. Reinhardt was startled. He could sense that the boy's spirit was anything but ordinary. Even so, he demanded Lin Luo share the intel, promising rewards based on its value. Seizing the moment, Lin Luo claimed the discovery came from his companion, and that she could explain in detail. Kagaya stepped forward quickly. "Commander, the truth is this." Suddenly, her voice cut off, and her gaze turned sharp with killing intent. Reinhardt sensed something was wrong and ordered Kagaya to stay put and deliver her report from where she stood. But in the next instant, a flash of steel gleamed. Kagaya's strike had already landed. She said coldly, "Commander, the truth is my master plans to betray you." Yet Reinhardt was a Legion commander, class NPC. He adjusted midair and prepared to counter, only to find himself suddenly bound by a mysterious force, unable to move. At the very moment Kagaya attacked, Lin Luo had wished for the Lord of Wishes to restrain him. With a sharp slash, Kagaya's blade cut across Reinhardt's chest. The effect of Plunder Blade triggered, stripping away 30% of his protective aura and the power of his combat art. Flame-splitting wave sword. Realization struck Reinhardt. This ambush had been orchestrated by Lin Luo all along. He erupted, unleashing his battle chi to the limit. Seeing their commander in peril, the soldiers rushed in with blades raised. But the Storm Swordmaster's gale sword chi tore through the grunts with ease. As the restraining effect ended, Reinhardt swung a devastating strike, forcing Kagaya back for the moment. He roared, "Despicable witch cult assassin! Face me in an honorable duel." Lin Luo spread his arms wide and taunted, "Come on, baby!" Reinhardt was baffled by the boy's strange behavior. Still, his resolve hardened. He would kill this vile assassin. Yet as his blade descended toward Lin Luo's head, it froze in place, unable to go any further. In an instant, a towering figure appeared behind Lin Luo, its voice booming with authority. "I am the savior. Who dares defy my majesty?" The sheer pressure made Reinhardt cry out in disbelief. Impossible. Even a child of destiny should only be able to contract a single spirit. Lin Luo smirked. "For the next 1 second, you'll be unable to move." At his command, the savior raised its hand and declared, "Explode." In the next moment, Reinhardt's body began to twist grotesquely. Within seconds, warp space spread across his entire form. With several muffled cracks, Reinhardt vanished into thin air. This scene was reflected in the necromancer's crystal ball. To the Lich Bride, this youth had to be a high-ranking envoy of the witch cult. Why else would he slay their greatest enemy? The necromancer cackled wickedly, treating it all as orders from above. Only then could they calmly refine the bones, for the ashes of the fallen were far too precious. With the greatest threat gone, the Lich Bride suggested they properly entertain this envoy. Meanwhile, the Legion soldiers, seeing their commander struck down, charged forward in fury. But Kagaya gave them no chance. The blade in her hand swept through the ranks, cutting them all down in an instant. After the slaughter, she struck a stylish, sheathing pose and declared coldly, "No one may threaten my master's safety." Lin Luo turned to the data panel hovering before him. Killing NPCs of the player faction yielded pitiful experience and no loot. Still, to seize the ashes of the fallen, it was necessary. He ordered Kagaya to fall back, to return later and play the hidden ace once the witch cult and the Legion clashed. Just as they prepared to leave, the ground suddenly shifted. A member of the witch cult emerged from below, respectfully announcing he was here to escort the envoy to the Tomb of Heroes. In his past life, Lin Luo had never heard of such a route. Clearly, the witch cult had misunderstood. At that moment, a bold idea took root in his mind. He ordered, "Lead the way." Perhaps this dungeon could bring even greater, unexpected rewards. Soon, they arrived at the entrance to the Tomb of Heroes. Lin Luo knew he could wipe them all out with ease, but that would be dull and might cost him the location of the ashes of the fallen. The Lich Bride spoke first. Honored envoy, thank you for your aid. Tell us, what important orders do you bring? Lin Luo cursed inwardly. What orders? He had none. He'd only been dragged here. Still, it was time to put his acting skills to the test. He cleared his throat and countered. How is the task from above progressing? The necromancer answered at once. After 10 days of ritual, they had nearly completed the forging of the frost dragon. Lin Luo seized the chance. Then take me to see the results. Guided by the Lich Bride, they slowly entered the stronghold. She gestured ahead. Envoy, this is the place. The sight before Lin Luo left him utterly stunned. It was none other than the legendary frost dragon, said to be capable of destroying everything. A monster of this caliber, once revived, will be nothing short of a nightmare for any player entering the dungeon. Lin Luo asked how long it would take to complete the frost dragon's forging. One cultist replied, at most 2.5 days. The necromancer added that without the second legion interfering, their progress would speed up even further. Lin Luo thought to himself, the frost dragon's level far exceeded 40, but if he could bring it down, the rewards would be immense. For now, he needed to replenish the energy he had spent in battle. He ordered them to bring out some ashes of the fallen. The cultists hesitated, faces grim, for the ashes were crucial to forging the frost dragon, and their reserves were already running low. Lin Luo's expression darkened. So in your eyes, my energy recovery is less important than your dragon. The necromancer panicked, quickly ordering them to fetch the ashes of the fallen. Soon, a tray was presented, holding 6 portions of the bone ash neatly arranged. Lin Luo grabbed one, and the ashes dissolved into energy within him, but it restored only a meager 100 points, far weaker than the effect of the divine crystal shards. He pressed further. Can the ashes of the fallen be directly refined? The Lich Bride answered. It would take a great deal of time. Doing so would slow down the frost dragon's forging. Lin Luo waved his hand sharply. Refine it anyway. With me here, no trouble can stop you. The cultist still looked uneasy. Lin Luo unleashed his aura, a crushing pressure filling the chamber. Are you trying to defy me? The necromancer immediately cowered, apologizing profusely. He then ordered everyone to put aside their tasks and focus entirely on refining the ashes of the fallen for the envoy. Yet Lin Luo's unusual insistence only deepened the Lich Bride's suspicion. Seizing a moment when no one was watching, she slipped away into a shadowed corner. Not long after, in a hidden chamber, the Lich Bride activated a magic circle and secretly contacted the cult leader. The Lich Bride asked the high priest whether he had sent a chosen one to help them solve their troubles. The high priest denied it outright. Every chosen one within the cult already had missions of their own. She then revealed the vision within her crystal ball, saying this stranger had helped them defeat the Holy Legion's commander, yet demanded they abandon the Frost Dragon's refinement and instead forge the ashes of the fallen for him. To her surprise, the high priest showed no concern and even ordered them to meet his every demand. The Lich Bride couldn't understand. Why not simply kill this man of unknown origin? The high priest answered calmly. If he killed the Holy Legion's commander, then he is clearly an enemy of the Empire. Such a man is perfect for our witch cult. Meanwhile, on the cult's side, Lin Luo continued urging the disciples to hurry with the refinement. He remembered that although these imperial heroes were long dead, their bodies still carried powerful remnants of energy. With the right methods, that energy could be refined into the ashes of the fallen, restoring his stand strength. Just then, the Lich Bride reappeared before Lin Luo. She leaned in close and whispered, "Who exactly are you, sir? What is your true purpose in infiltrating the witch cult?" Lin Luo countered, "It was you who brought me here. Where does this talk of infiltration come from?" The Lich Bride froze for a moment. He was right. It was their own wishful thinking. She lifted her gown slightly and formally introduced herself, declaring that she was the Lich Bride under the command of the Witch of Desire. Seeing such courtesy, Lin Luo couldn't remain aloof. He rose and solemnly declared 3 words, "The Black Emperor." Yet, the name Black Emperor stirred no memories in the Lich Bride's mind. Still, following the High Priest's orders, she offered Lin Luo an olive branch. If he joined the witch cult, they would grant him a generous supply of the ashes of the fallen. Lin Luo froze on the spot. What kind of bizarre twist was this? It felt like unlocking an entirely new hidden storyline. He firmly stated that unless they produced the amount of ashes of the fallen he demanded, he wouldn't even consider going back with them. When pressed for specifics, Lin Luo raised 2 fingers. At least 20 portions. Clearly, that was a price they couldn't pay. With the Holy Legion commander dead, the Empire would soon send Tyr, 3 powerhouses to crush this stronghold. Without finishing the Frost Dragon's refinement, death was inevitable. Though Lin Luo assured them that he would deal with any Imperial elites, the Lich Bride refused to believe he could kill a Tier 3 powerhouse and decided to halt the refinement of the ashes of the fallen altogether. Lin Luo smirked inwardly. This woman wasn't so easily fooled by mere bluffing. So he feigned agreement to return to the witch cult with her. But the instant she lowered her guard, he unleashed the Holy Legion commander's secret art, flame-devouring wave slash, piercing her heart clean through. Since he had slain an NPC 6 levels above him, the kill rewarded a staggering 36.4 million experience points. Only then did the cultists realize the truth. The man before them was an infiltrating assassin. Lin Luo barked coldly. No mercy. Black Emperor, Ash Princess, crush them. With both stands rampaging, the battlefield instantly fell into chaos. Suddenly, a sinister cry rang out, "Death Coil," as a surge of green energy bound Lin Luo tight. A cultist emerged from behind him, cackling madly. "Okay, you're already a corpse." Lin Luo sneered. "That trash skill? Worthless against me. Shatter." The shock wave erupted, blasting the cultist into the sky, dead before he hit the ground. Even in death, he never understood why his skill had failed so utterly. At that moment, the earth began to quake violently. The nearby necromancer's eyes glowed crimson. "With life as my offering, awaken, Frost Dragon. Reduce this despicable assassin to dust." In an instant, the colossal Frost Dragon manifested before them. Though lumbering in movement, its raw power was double that of the Black Emperor. Its frost breath dealt 600 to 900 points of magical damage while slowing its targets. Its dragon's roar could terrify the weak-willed, sapping 10% to 20% of their combat strength. Fortunately, the dragon had been forcefully awakened, leaving its attributes incomplete, barely stronger than the Ogre Warlord. That flaw gave Lin Luo the chance to seize the reward. He immediately commanded. He and the Black Emperor would assault the beast directly, while Kagaya cut down the Necromancer. The Necromancer scoffed and drove the Frost Dragon into counterattack. In the next heartbeat, frost breath surged forth, engulfing Lin Luo and the Black Emperor. The Black Emperor instantly stepped forward, shielding Lin Luo. "Master, be careful." Lin Luo unleashed the Storm Swordsman's skill, Gale Sword Aura, shredding the frost breath in an instant. He roared, "What's the use of being big? Watch me shut you up right now." Even as he dealt damage to the Frost Dragon, he ordered the Black Emperor to strike. The stand moved like lightning, its aura punch hammering the dragon's head with a deafening barrage. As the Frost Dragon prepared to cast another skill, Lin Luo wasted no time. Activating his ultimate, myriad swords converge. The barrage shattered its casting mid-chant. "Now, Kagaya, strike!" In a flash, Kagaya's blade swept across the Necromancer's throat. Empowered by the Rainy Night Blade, the Necromancer collapsed in his silence forever. With the culprit eliminated, Lin Luo commanded his stands to focus their assault on the Frost Dragon. At once, his Gale Sword Aura, the Black Emperor's Aura Punch, and Kagaya's Feathered Blade crashed in from 3 directions, delivering the finishing blow. A thunderous crash shook the ground as the colossal beast toppled lifeless. Staring at the Frost Dragon's corpse, Lin Luo muttered, "What a grind, but for the loot, it's worth it." He then invested his free attribute points into agility and myriad swords converge, pushing his Gale Sword aura to a whole new tier. If the skill continued evolving to the point of ceaseless sword chi, the energy cost would plummet while attack frequency skyrocketed. With that settled, it was time to claim the spoils. Before long, he discovered something within the dragon's corpse. A sound of ice cracking echoed through the chamber. What emerged was none other than a diamond tier weapon. A prompt chimed, "Congratulations! You have obtained the diamond tier weapon, Heart of Extinction." With over 200 attack power and stacked effects, it was a perfect match for Lin Luo. Its passive, Frost Cleave, lowered enemy agility for 5 seconds after every strike, while its active, Wail of Despair, could briefly halt enemy attacks, a top-tier weapon for anyone under level 30. Yet in Lin Luo's memory, this dungeon should never have dropped such high-grade equipment. It seemed the difficulty had scaled up because Lin Luo wiped out both the Holy Legion and the Witch Cult. Naturally, the rewards had risen as well. Still, he decided to check if there were more treasures. After 2.5 minutes of rummaging, he gathered advanced recovery potions, magic scrolls, and various pieces of equipment. Aside from the Heart of Extinction, the rarest find was the Frost Dragon's Horn, an item that could summon the Frost Dragon itself as a tank. Lin Luo's gaze then shifted to the lifeless Lich Bride. He muttered inwardly, hoping that if they crossed paths again, she wouldn't try to bargain with him. Black Emperor, Kagaya, let's hunt down our next target. Meanwhile, at the dungeon entrance, Lu Tianshi arrived too late. The system panel clearly displayed, player Black Emperor cleared the dungeon 4 hours and 11 minutes ago. Once again thwarted, Lu Tianshi's eyes turned venomous. Black Emperor, since you've delivered yourself to me, today will be your death day. Elsewhere, under the guard of 4 soldiers, a group of survivors huddled inside a tall building. In one corner, Guatao curled up, trembling violently. Days earlier, he had awakened the S-rank talent future simulation, along with its stand, Future Diary. He thought that with the power to foresee the future, he could marry a rich beauty and reach the peak of life. Eagerly, he activated his ability. But when the diary displayed the words, "My name is Bo Tao," the scene that followed was gruesome. He was slaughtered by a strange man and a maid dress girl. At first, he dismissed it as fake. After all, society hadn't completely collapsed yet. But since the diary was his own stand, there was no denying its truth. He quickly demanded the diary simulate another path to survival. In that vision, he denied being Bo Tao. Yet the man still ordered the maid to pierce him through. Desperate, he simulated yet another scenario. This time, he grabbed a kitchen knife and fought back, but still died, his expression eerily peaceful. He tried the last resort, fleeing far away, even escaping all the way to Shanghai. The outcome remained unchanged. In despair, he screamed, "Damn it! Even if I beg for my life, it won't work." But the future diary showed only one inevitable ending, death. Clinging to his last shred of hope, Guatao fled to the Inspector Bureau, a place guarded by armed forces. Yet the future diary revealed the boy would command a swarm of insects to assault the building. This time, he wouldn't die by the maid's blade, but by the fist of a man clad in black armor. Moments later, countless insects swarmed outside the bureau. Guatao instantly understood the man had arrived. He turned his gaze toward the window. On a nearby rooftop, 2 figures stood watching. "Luckily, I have the Lord of Wishes," Lin Luo thought. "Otherwise, I never would have guessed the last name on my kill list would appear here, of all places." As the target leapt from the windowsill, Lin Luo ordered the Lord of Wishes to redirect the swarm, sparing innocent bystanders. Though Guatao dashed deep into an alley. When cornered, he muttered, "Your stand is even more beautiful than I imagined." Lin Luo, still unsure of his ability, shot back, asking if Guatao had known he was coming all along. Guatao then confessed his power without reservation. To him now, foresight was nothing but a cursed talent, capable of simulating outcomes, but utterly useless in combat. And whatever appeared in the future diary could not be changed. Resigned, Guatao gave up resisting. He no longer cared about the reason or the mastermind behind it. His only wish was to die by the maid's blade. But Lin Luo denied him even that, ordering the Black Emperor to strike. With his final breath, Guo Tao lamented. He had indeed died under the fist of that armored man. As the Black Emperor ended his life, Lin Luo activated his exclusive ability, Talent Plunder. He obtained his 7th S-rank talent, Future Simulation. The stand ability, Bearer of Futures, could record coming events in the form of diary entries. Its flaw: the further ahead or the more detailed the vision, the greater the energy cost. Exponentially so. After learning its specifics, Lin Luo immediately simulated the next 2 days. Soon, words surfaced across the diary's pages. The moment he read them, he froze in disbelief. The entry claimed he would encounter a man calling himself Lu Tianshi. That man would attack without warning, and neither he nor the Black Emperor could withstand him. In the end, Lin Luo would be struck down by a bolt of thunder. What is this? I'll die tomorrow afternoon? That's impossible. He recalled Guo Tao's final words. The content written in the future diary cannot be changed. In his memory, every talent existed to aid its host. Never in his past life had he heard of a so-called cursed talent. There had to be some detail he'd overlooked. After all, he had been reborn with cheats. How could he possibly die here? And the name Lu Tianshi was legendary in his previous life. In a battle where his very life was at stake, there was no way he would rely on the Black Emperor alone. So, he called upon the Lord of Wishes for counsel. Once again, he triggered the simulation through the future diary. The diary revealed that, knowing the future, he summoned 2 stands at once. Lu Tianshi was surprised at first, but after a brief clash, the Lord of Wishes is shattered under the weight of an overreaching wish, and the Black Emperor was crushed beneath his enemy's heel. Though the sequence of events had changed, the outcome remained the same: death beneath thunder. The Lord of Wishes reminded him, Master, under normal circumstances, each player may only possess 1 talent stand. If you don't summon the others, the future diary will always project events based on common logic. Those words struck him. If he summoned every stand he had, perhaps the future could truly shift. Thus, he unleashed all 5 S-rank stands at once, initiating a new simulation. The future diary activated immediately. Yet even with the Black Emperor fused with Ashen Princess, the Succubus Queen's skills, the Lord of Wishes' blessings, and the Green Demon's control, the combined might of 5 stands still fell short before Lu Tianshi. Unbelievable, 5 S-rank stands can't even match a single 3S rank stand. He then ordered the Black Emperor to strike him in the head. In an instant, the savior appeared, blocking the blow. Master, this brute disrespects you again. Allow me to send him to hell. The Black Emperor snarled in defiance, ready to brawl on the spot. But Lin Luo ignored their squabble and launched a 3rd simulation. When the result appeared, he was stunned once more. The diary showed that Lu Tianshi's stand still crushed all of his without effort. Refusing to accept it, he ordered the Lord of Wishes to calculate what tactic could possibly defeat Lu Tianshi. The answer came: the stand that is yet to be born. At those words, he summoned Fetal Stirring, initiating the final simulation. The diary read, When Lu Tianshi summoned his stand, I chose an emotion as nourishment, successfully giving birth to a second double S-rank stand, and drove him into retreat. At that moment, Lin Luo was thrilled. The future had finally changed. Who would have thought hope lay hidden in this ordinary-looking egg? The problem was, he didn't know which emotion should be chosen as nourishment. With that thought, he asked the Lord of Wishes to give him the answer. But the burden of such a wish was far too great. Forgive me, Master. Forcing this wish would shatter me completely. Lin Luo understood. From the diary's prediction, the gap between S rank and 3S rank was massive, and Lu Tianshi surely had other trump cards. He needed to be fully prepared. His decision was clear: find his brother in prison and raise his talent to S rank first. Meanwhile, atop a watchtower, 2 soldiers were frantically firing at the swarm. Though they cut down wave after wave, The insects poured in endlessly. When their bullets finally ran out, both thought their end had come. In that desperate moment, the Black Emperor smashed through with a single punch, flattening the swarm. Before the soldiers could recover from shock, Lin Luo explained that he was Zhou Shengdong's younger brother and had scheduled the visitation in advance. Soon after, the soldiers escorted him to the designated area, adding that once the visitation was over, the warden wanted to see him. At last, he came face to face with the person he cared about most since his rebirth. Memories of his brother sacrificing himself in the previous life surged into his mind. Now, seeing him so close, emotions overwhelmed him. Big brother, it's been a long time. Noticing his expression, Zhou Shengdong asked with concern, Xiao Luo, are you hurt? Let me call someone to check. Snapping back, Lin Luo quickly reassured him, insisting he was fine and there was no need to worry. But his brother didn't believe Lin Luo's reassurances. He only told him not to be afraid. No matter the injustices suffered, once he was out, he would settle every score. Seeing his brother trapped in the bureau and racked with guilt, Lin Luo's chest tightened with sorrow. A memory of the warden's words flashed through his brother's mind. Agree to my terms, and a sentence reduction might be possible. He then claimed he'd found a way out and vowed never again to let Lin Luo be bullied. Zhou Shengdong had never once thought of himself. But business came first. Lin Luo told him he had brought a gift. In the next instant, the Black Emperor materialized behind his brother. With a deafening crack, the stand drove a Triple S Ascension crystal into Zhou Shengdong's body. Alarmed, the guards raised their rifles and demanded Lin Luo explain what he had just done. Since his brother remained a prisoner, Lin Luo remained calm. I only brought him something, nothing dangerous. In an instant, his brother's fighting spirit ignited, and his talent Scarlet Courage leapt to S rank. At the same time, an S rank stand manifested, the Red Lotus Knight. Not only did it massively boost defense, but each strike also inflicted an additional 50 points of burn damage. Lin Luo smiled with satisfaction at the sight. Zhou Shengdong stared in disbelief at his stand. This is my stand. Lin Luo nodded, confident that with this stand, his brother could perform deeds inside the prison and win early release. Seeing such a precious item used on him, Zhou Shengdong asked why Lin Luo hadn't kept it for himself. Only when Lin Luo said there were many more such treasures did his brother's face finally brighten. Unbeknownst to them, everything had been recorded by a hidden camera. In a surveillance room, a cold chuckle echoed. Interesting. Able to raise a talent's rank, are they? As the visitation period ended, a guard notified Lin Luo it was time to leave. Lin Luo reassured his brother. From now on, no one would bully them again. On his way out, he reminded Zhou Shengdong to behave in the bureau and fight for a reduced sentence. Just outside the visitation room, a guard informed him the warden wished to see him, claiming the warden had a way to help Zhou Shengdong. Lin Luo smirked inwardly. He had expected as much. Soon, the guard led him to the warden's office. In his experience, the best talent ranks in that prison rarely exceeded A rank. Anyone offered a chance to upgrade a talent would jump at it. Even knowing the warden might have ulterior motives, Lin Luo feigned humility and asked why he'd been summoned. The warden slowly spoke, asking whether Lin Luo understood the full circumstances behind Zhou Shengdong's conviction. From his words, it became clear. Zhou Shengdong's case concealed deeper secrets. Lin Luo recalled the suspicious circumstances surrounding his brother's arrest, but at the time he had been too weak to investigate. The warden warned that, barring an earth-shattering crime, no one would receive a 15-year sentence. Zhou Shengdong had clearly been used as a pawn. To force those who framed his brother to pay, Lin Luo offered to clear the prison of any monsters that appeared, on the conditions the warden reveal the full truth. The warden waved his hand dismissively, saying there was no need. Others would handle the monsters. He then mentioned that he had just seen, through the surveillance feed, Zhou Shengdong summoning the Red Lotus Knight. Lin Luo sneered inwardly. As expected, this old fox had his eyes set on the Ascension crystal. Insider information was nothing compared to the value of such a crystal. and Lin Luo had ways to uncover the truth himself. The warden, unfazed, said that if he got what he wanted, many things could be negotiated. For example, reducing his brother's sentence. Thinking it over, Lin Luo realized that if it meant Zhou Shengdong could walk free early, the Ascension Crystal was a small price to pay. He answered calmly that it could be arranged. It turned out the one who framed his brother was none other than the Wang Consortium, a household name and a corporate giant in Hangsheng. Yet Lin Luo was puzzled. If the Bureau knew it was a setup, why still hand down a 15-year sentence? The warden explained that, at the time, all the evidence pointed to Zhou Shengdong, and the Bureau had no choice but to convict. Only later did he realize the Wang Consortium was pulling the strings. Rage surged through Lin Luo's chest. He swore that those forces would pay dearly. The warden rose and urged him not to think of revenge just yet. Even with two brothers awakened to S-rank talents, the Wang Consortium was not an enemy they could afford to provoke. Resting a hand on Lin Luo's shoulder, he said, "Your brother's chance at a reduced sentence is right before you. Don't waste it." Lin Luo knew such arrogance would one day be this man's undoing, but now wasn't the time. He feigned calm and nodded along. He then added that he didn't have any spare Ascension crystals on him, but could return home to fetch one. The warden's face lit up with glee, urging Lin Luo to hurry back. With that, Lin Luo bade the warden farewell and turned to leave the room. As he stepped out of the room, Lin Luo let out a cold snort. "Trying to mess with me? That's like an old fool drinking poison, clearly tired of living." Soon after, a guard reported that defenses against the Zerg assault were ready and suggested escorting the warden to a safe house. The warden waved it off, saying there was still business he needed to handle here. In his mind, with an Ascension crystal capable of boosting talent, he might awaken a powerful stand of his own. Other people's lives meant nothing to him. Leveraging power for personal gain was the only truth he believed in. Just as the guards left, a deep voice echoed from behind. "Living pretty comfortably, aren't you?" The warden snapped his head around in alarm. When he saw Lin Luo, he finally relaxed, asking quickly if he had brought the item. Lin Luo's reply was ice cold. "Wrong. I'm here to take your life." In a flash, the Black Emperor's hand clamped around the warden's throat. With a little force, the old fox was slammed hard against the wall. Panicked, the warden screamed for help. Lin Luo calmly told him not to waste his breath. This entire area was already sealed off. Then he invoked the Lord of Wishes. From this point on, the warden could only speak the truth. The warden roared back, demanding why Lin Luo would try to kill him after he had kindly shared news about his brother. Lin Luo didn't hesitate. He kicked the man across the room, knowing full well the warden was only exploiting his brother's case for leverage. A scream tore through the room as the warden crashed to the floor. With a sickening crack, his wrist was crushed underfoot. Lin Luo leaned down and demanded, who was really behind framing his brother? At last, the warden confessed. The culprit was Wang Erkin of the so-called Sing-In dance family. He and Zhou Shengdong had stolen relics together, but to clear himself, he pinned everything on Zhou Shengdong. Since Zhou kept appealing his innocence, they panicked and threw out 100,000 as hush money. The Black Emperor's fist crashed into the warden's knee. After all, Lin Luo's brother would never sit in prison for 15 years over a mere 100,000. Only when Lin Luo yanked his head up did the warden finally confess. He had pocketed 400,000 himself and wanted the brother locked away forever, afraid he'd cause trouble once released. Lin Luo demanded to know where the illegal fortune was hidden. The warden clenched his teeth, refusing to answer, and spat curses that Lin Luo and his brother would die miserably in someone else's hands. Lin Luo sneered and invoked the Lore of Wishes, forcing him to speak the truth. Under its power, the warden spilled everything. His illicit gains totaled a staggering 180 million, and inside his pouch were 493 Fate Spin single draw tickets. In the next moment, a dazzling light flared. Lin Luo said coldly, "These Fate Spin tickets, I'll be taking them." The old fox roared back, calling Lin Luo lawless and swearing that as long as he lived, he dragged both brothers to justice. Coming from his mouth, those words were nothing but a joke. Lin Luo stomped down on his head. Those fate spin tickets were stolen from prisoners through extortion, yet he dared to accuse others of being lawless. Just then, urgent shouts rang out outside. The Zerg had broken through the defenses. Lin Luo told the warden flatly that he wouldn't kill him, but accidents had a way of happening. As he left, he invoked the Lord of Wishes once more. The incoming swarm would prioritize this room first. Immobilized, the warden gnashed his teeth and screamed curses, damning Lin Luo and his brother to an early grave. Meanwhile, chaos erupted outside the inspectorate building. Soldiers fired relentlessly, but one after another fell as the bugs tore through their bodies. The squad leader barked orders, telling everyone to fight while retreating. If they could reach the second floor, they might survive. At that moment, Lin Luo's brother appeared behind them, patting the captain's shoulder and declaring he had awakened an S-rank stand and could fight. The swarm was too overwhelming. If this continued, not only would the prison collapse, but the soldiers would all be slaughtered. Hearing this, the captain no longer hesitated and promised that reducing casualties would count as a major achievement. He swore he'd report it truthfully, so the brothers' effort would not go unrewarded. In the next instant, the S-rank stand, Crimson Knight, descended onto the battlefield. A bug lunged from behind his brother, and the squad leader shouted, "Watch out!" Yet the Crimson Lotus Knight moved faster than lightning, blocking the strike. A cold gleam flashed in his brother's eyes. Crimson Lotus Knight killed him. In the next instant, the creature was skewered by a single thrust. Watching the knight massacre the swarm, the squad leader's heart trembled like a stormy sea. So this is an S-rank stand? The Black Emperor asked if he should join the fight, but Lin Luo recalled that the squad leader was a righteous man. His brother's merits would never be buried with him around. He remembered how his brother had always borne the darkness to protect him, and he wished his brother could walk free with honor, living openly in the light. As for the shadows ahead, those would be his to shoulder. Suddenly, wild laughter erupted. Let the monsters rampage. The more chaos in this prison, the sooner I'll be free. When Lin Luo snapped back to his senses, the area around him was empty. So he asked the Lord of Wishes for intel. The voice belonged to Gao Qi, and awakened with an S-rank gift. With the answer in hand, he wished for Gao Qi's invisibility to be stripped bare. As the Lord of Wishes unleashed his power, Gao Qi's form slowly appeared, his eyes wide with shock. Only then did Lin Luo speak coldly. "Trying to break out, are you?" Gao Qi finally realized he'd been played from the start. Gao Qi immediately summoned his stand, Violet Shadow Vines, and launched an attack at Lin Luo. Lin Luo merely smiled. Luck was on his side. Another gift had walked to his door. He wondered how this man had evaded the Bureau's scans, tricking everyone into thinking the strongest awakened here was only A rank. Gao Qi wasn't foolish enough to answer. "None of your business," he snapped. "Even if you don't say it, I'll find out," Lin Luo replied. An invisibility gift delivered to him. He'd be rude not to take it. Gao Qi felt it in his bones. This man's power was anything but ordinary. He whipped the violet vines forward to buy time to flee. With a sharp whoosh, the Black Emperor appeared and blocked every strike. Meanwhile, Gao Qi stepped onto the vines, ready to vault over the wall. In his mind, freedom was just one leap away. After all, his gift, Hermit, erased both form and scent. No tracker could pin him down. But in the very next heartbeat, Kagaya's blade cut across his body. Even as he died, he couldn't fathom how Lin Luo had summoned yet another stand. Talent Plunder activated. Lin Luo seized his 9th S-rank gift, Hermit. With invisibility, his odds against Lu Tianshi climbed markedly. The catch, it lasted only an hour, and any attack would break stealth. He'd need SS rank to unleash its full force. The Vine skill, Child of the Ninja, let any inanimate object they touched vanish briefly, remaining hidden even while moving. It perfectly patched his reveal on attack weakness. With 200 attack power and countless tendrils, the devastation would be brutal. Just then, a prompt flashed, Talent plunder disabled. 9 S-rank stands, apparently the limit. Fortunately, Lin Luo had a backup plan. Soon after, he cleared the novice boss, the three-headed wolf. Adding that fate spin ticket to the 400 plus from the warden, he now had exactly 500. With the Lord of Wishes beside him, he was certain he could push talent plunder to SS rank. As the fate spin wheel turned, Lin Luo declared, "In these 500 pulls, I demand Ascension Crystals to evolve the Black Emperor to SS rank and boost my luck to the Wishbook's safe limit." The Lord of Wishes spread his arms. "Master, your wish will be fulfilled." At Lin Luo's command, the wheel halted. Streams of light flew into his hands. Among them, a staggering 51 crystals of S rank or higher. Aside from Ascension Crystals, there were plenty of other types as well. To Lin Luo, the overall result was still pretty good. Next came the moment for both him and Black Emperor to undergo their transformation. As Black Emperor crushed the crystal in his hand, a burst of golden light instantly flooded the surroundings. Lin Luo's plunder talent rose straight to double S rank. His target talent capacity increased from 9 to 19, and his skill count reached 39. The new skill, King's Jade, allowed him to convert excess talents into jade pieces that could be handed to his allies. With this, as long as he continued plundering, even a triple S rank talent would shatter like an egg against a rock. At the same time, Black Emperor erupted with a terrifying aura, power surging endlessly from within. When the surge finally settled, Black Emperor's rank had also advanced to double S. His 6 core attributes skyrocketed, and he gained 2 new skills, Fist of Conquest and Flame of the Black Emperor. However, the next breakthrough still required a full 1,000 experience points, reminding Lin Luo the road ahead was far from over. Lin Luo then summoned the Lord of Wishes. Empowered by the Sacred Spirit Crystal, the Lord of Wishes was promoted to a double S substitute as well. While the upgrades to skills like Wishful Combat, Wishful Iron Arm, and Wishful Fortune weren't drastic, Wishful Combat's 30% crit rate combined with Heart of Oblivion's 15% meant Lin Luo now had nearly a 50% critical strike chance. The Lord of Wishes bowed respectfully. "Great Master, thank you for granting me new life." At Lin Luo's command, Kaguya appeared. With her promotion to double S, her stats improved and she gained the ability to summon rain at will, further boosting her combat power. Though she looked like a frail girl, the data proved she was no weaker than Black Emperor. At that moment, the Lord of Wishes offered to distribute the remaining crystals. Lin Luo welcomed the chance to slack off and left everything in his hands. The leftover crystals were enough to raise 2 more substitutes to double S. Not only that, but many also boosted extra attributes. Lin Luo paused and thought. At this point, he effectively commanded the power of 7 double S substitutes. Ordinary triple S elites stood no chance against him. But Lu Tianshi was no ordinary triple S awakener. Lin Luo couldn't afford to let him unleash his full strength. Black Emperor's Fist of Conquest would be his only true chance of victory. Soon after, at the entrance of the secret realm, Lu Tianshi waited patiently. In his mind, the moment Black Emperor showed up, he had absolute confidence he could crush him. At that moment, Lu Tianshi sensed danger and reacted instantly, dodging the strike. Lin Luo spoke slowly. "I thought I could catch you off guard, but your reflexes are better than I expected." Seeing the hostility, Lu Tianshi demanded Lin Luo's identity. Lin Luo pointed straight at him without hesitation. "I'm the one here to take your life." Lu Tianshi nearly burst out laughing and sneered. "And who gave you that courage? That lump of iron you call a stand?" Lin Luo smirked. "Then why don't you try me?" The moment the words fell, Kaguya appeared above Lu Tianshi, blade descending. But in the next instant, a colossal figure emerged behind him. Fortunately, Kaguya reacted instantly, shifting into umbrella form to block the attack. Lin Luo's heart tightened. Sneak attacks clearly wouldn't work on this man. Lu Tianshi once again demanded his identity, warning that if he didn't speak, he'd show no mercy. At Lu Tianshi's command, his stand, Celestial Envoy, erupted with crushing force, its whisk striking straight down at Lin Luo's head. Yet even this blow failed to harm him. Lin Luo roared, "Lord of Wishes, I wish for Black Emperor's attacks to be unstoppable." A calm voice answered, "Master, your wish has been fulfilled." At once, Lin Luo ordered Black Emperor to unleash his full strength. Meanwhile, Kaguya launched her assault from behind. The two stands attacked in unison, surrounding Lu Tianshi from both sides. Lu Tianshi bellowed, "Thunder Venerable, Guanyin Venerable, aid me." A bolt of lightning slammed down at Kaguya's feet. Black Emperor's fist, however, smashed into a suddenly appearing jar. The sight before Lin Luo's eyes was beyond anything he had expected. To keep his stands from taking unnecessary damage, Lin Luo immediately ordered Black Emperor and Kaguya back to his side. The sight of three stands startled Lu Tianshi, but it also confirmed what he suspected. The man before him was the so-called Black Emperor. Lin Luo revealed his identity outright, warning coldly, "Bring out your full strength, or you won't leave here alive." Lu Tianshi still didn't know why this stranger had come for him, but his confidence in his own power was absolute. He curled a finger, beckoning Lin Luo with open provocation. Then he thrust a finger toward the sky and roared, "Demon vanquishing Venerable, show yourself." Instantly, a torrent of energy pierced the heavens. With a thunderous crash, that energy smashed into the ground, and choking smoke rolled across the battlefield. Seconds later, a colossal arm pushed out from the haze. The sheer shockwave forced Lin Luo's eyes shut. So this was the aura of a 3S rank summon? As the smoke cleared, the mighty demon vanquishing Venerable fully emerged. Its oppressive presence set Black Emperor and Kaguya on edge, but Black Emperor only roared his usual line, "Let's just smash it." Yet his fist was effortlessly caught mid-swing. Even Kaguya's blade was seized in a single massive hand. Lin Luo was taken aback. This summon, without even activating a skill, could match two SS stands blow for blow. Though its speed and strikes were astonishing, it was still clearly different from the stand at Lu Tianshi's back. From the Future Diaries revelations, Lin Luo knew Lu Tianshi still had techniques that borrowed divine power, spells akin to a god's projection. Judging from the three stands already revealed, only Guanyin Venerable served as support. The other two were combat types, and both exceeded SS in strength. Fortunately, summoning the demon vanquishing Venerable drained at least 2/3 of Lu Tianshi's energy. That Lin Luo knew was his edge. With a wave of his hand, Lu Tianshi withdrew the towering summon. Lin Luo sneered, "That's it? The mighty celestial master, already backing down." Lu Tianshi burst into wild laughter, declaring that even if the Black Emperor had been reborn, he still had full confidence to crush him. Lin Luo's face instantly darkened. How did this man know such a secret? He demanded, "Is that why you want to kill me?" Lu Tianshi sneered, saying he merely wanted to prove that even if they were reborn from the future, his power was enough to crush them all. Hearing the word, Lin Luo immediately realized, besides himself, there were others who had also returned through rebirth. With that thought, he resolved to take down Lu Tianshi first, then investigate further. Unable to restrain himself, Lu Tianshi chanted, "Appear, Erlang true monarch." In an instant, the legendary Erlang god, Yang Jian, stood before Lin Luo. Lin Luo froze for a moment, caught off guard. Lu Tianshi taunted that he had only unleashed Dongma Tianzhen earlier, yet it had held off both the Black Emperor and Kaguya. If Lin Luo knelt and begged, he might still live. But to Lu Tianshi's surprise, Lin Luo suddenly drew a gun. The sight made Lu Tianshi mock him even harder. A mere boy, thinking that pathetic toy could defeat him, Lin Luo aimed the weapon at his own head, saying coldly, "This gun isn't meant for him." Alarmed, Lu Tianshi waved his hand, saying if Lin Luo became his follower, he wouldn't need to kill himself. Lin Luo sneered back, "This isn't suicide." Without hesitation, he pulled the trigger. The instant the bullet flew toward him, time itself seemed to halt. Blue flames erupted around Lin Luo. "Come forth, savior." The bullet was casually flicked aside. The savior appeared behind him. "Master, the savior awaits your command." Though Lu Tianshi scoffed at such flashy theatrics, for stands appearing in succession made him realize that the Black Emperor truly had the capital to be arrogant. Lin Luo smirked and told him that since he had summoned four, he naturally couldn't fall behind. At those words, Lu Tianshi stopped with the trash talk and ordered Erlang True Monarch and Dongma Tianzuan to attack. At the same time, Lin Luo commanded the Black Emperor, Heimkagwaya, and the Savior to strike at Lu Tianshi together. As the power type stand, the Black Emperor charged straight at Dongma Tianzuan. "Master, leave this big brute to me." Heimkagwaya refused to lag behind, telling the Savior to deal with Lu Tianshi himself while she handled Erlang, True Monarch. The Savior shot back instantly. "You go help that iron hunk. This side's mine alone." Not taking them seriously, Erlang True Monarch unleashed a beam from his celestial eye, roaring, "Mere ants dare challenge him?" The Savior unleashed his ability, dissolving the beam while launching a counterattack. Erlang Shun, Yang Jian, roared, "Petty tricks, and you dare flaunt them before me?" With a swing of his three-pointed double-edged blade, he cleaved the incoming cube in half. Yet in Erlang True Monarch's astonished gaze, the surroundings suddenly erupted. This was one of the Savior's skills, New World. With a thunderous blast, the chain of explosions quickly engulfed Erlang True Monarch. His summoned stand had been reduced to near death. But Lu Tianshi showed no sign of panic. Instead, he ordered Guanyin Venerable to act. As Guanyin radiated a green glow, Erlang True Monarch was restored to full strength in just seconds. Lin Luo's heart tightened. To think the Savior's devastating damage could be undone so swiftly. He realized the battle had to end quickly. If Lu Tianshi was pushed too far, it would be impossible to find the chance for a killing blow. Having devised a countermeasure, Lin Luo immediately recalled his three stands. As the Savior turned and withdrew from the battlefield, Lu Tianshi's laughter grew more rampant, convinced the boy before him had chickened out. He then dispatched the two remaining stands that had yet to act, intending to crush Lin Luo once and for all. Unbeknownst to him, according to the predictions of the future diary, this was all part of Lin Luo's plan. Lin Luo raised his arm and activated his S-rank talent, Perfect Fusion. As dark red energy surged, he shouted, "Fuse! Black Emperor, Heimkagwaya, and Savior, become one and reveal your ultimate form." In an instant, the three stands ignited, their bodies wreathed in raging blue flames. Moments later, the fused form emerged, Heimkagwaya clad in heavy armor, radiating overwhelming might. Lin Luo examined Heimkagwaya's new fused form on the status panel. Every stat made it clear. She now rivaled most 3S rank stands. Against the combined assault of Lu Tianshi's four venerables, Heimkagwaya leapt high, charging straight at Lei Gong Venerable, who moved to intercept. Yet after only a few strikes, Lei Gong's whisk was slashed clean into several pieces. In a blur, Heimkagwaya surged forward, closing in on Erlang True Monarch and Dongma Heavenly Venerable. Even when fighting two at once, she showed no sign of faltering. But Lu Tianshi remained calm. In his eyes, this stand might be formidable, but defeating him was nothing but a delusion. He pulled a token from his robe, sneering that it was time Lin Luo witnessed the true power of the Celestial Master Sect. Lin Luo's eyes narrowed, caught off guard. Raising the token high above his head, Lu Tianshi intoned, "By the 100-year lineage of the Celestial Masters, I, Lu Yu, the 66th Celestial Master, beseech the ancestors, descend to the mortal world and sweep away all obstacles." In his memories, the 56th Celestial Master, Zhang Sanfeng, once fought alone to eradicate monsters and save tens of thousands of lives. Over a century later, on the 7th day of the 7th month, the 61st Celestial Master, Zhang Fu, passed the sect's token to his junior brother, while he himself marched into the world, devoting his strength to saving all beings. On August 15th, 1993, that generation's celestial master foresaw that 30 years later the world would be plunged into chaos, and instructed his disciple Zhang Wei to choose his successor with utmost caution and forge a new era for the celestial masters. And Lu Yu was hailed as the most outstanding disciple in the sect's centuries-long history. Memories flashed through his mind before his eyes snapped open. "Rest assured, Master," he vowed, "I, Lu Yu, will not disgrace my mission. I will carry forth the glory of the celestial master sect." In that instant, the figures of past celestial masters manifested behind him. 12 divine projections emerged, each nearly on par with an S-rank stand. No wonder every future diary simulation ended with Lin Luo's death. This summoning ability was far too overwhelming. Though Heimkagwaya's fused form managed to repel several of the projections for a time, numbers told the difference, and each ancestor carried unique abilities. Soon, Heimkagwaya was bound by golden chains of the locking god spell, and above her loomed an enormous golden bell. Lu Tianshu's lips curled into a faint smile as he declared he was a man who cherished talent. If Lin Luo would kneel and beg for mercy, perhaps he might consider sparing him. In Lu Tianshu's eyes, once he subdued the Black Emperor and then took down Yu Taijia, it would mark the true rise of the Celestial Master sect. But to Lin Luo, although the sect was powerful, the Celestial Master token in Lu Tianshu's hands was nothing but a waste. He sneered, "Lu Tianshu, today you will end the 100-year legacy of the Celestial Master sect." Lu Tianshu frowned, demanding what he meant. Lin Luo responded by summoning the still unhatched egg. His only chance of survival lay in this moment. His double S-rank talent, Emotion Detonator, activated Fetal Stir. This stand was a double-edged sword. Choose the wrong emotion, and it could summon a monstrosity like the Demon of Fear. He had to be extremely cautious in his choice. As the ability flared, emotions from within a radius of 300,000 meters surged into Lin Luo's mind. Anger, panic, anxiety, fear, helplessness, despair. Yet none of these were what he needed. Then, a brand new emotion quietly surfaced. On screen, military leaders expressed their gratitude to reporter Yao Mushi, praising the priceless video she had delivered. They vowed to spread it at once, so that everyone would know those monsters could be defeated. Soon after, the footage of the Black Emperor slaying the Wormhole Guardian was broadcast worldwide via satellite. Meanwhile, armies across the nation rapidly assembled, moving toward Hang City's center to rescue the trapped civilians. And the moment people received the news, hope for survival ignited in their hearts. Witnessing this, Lin Luo finally made his choice of which talent to use as nourishment. Future diary, you're not worthy of me. He then raised the Fetal Stir and shouted, "My new stand, be born from the countless hopes and prayers of this city." Instantly, hope from all directions surged into the egg. A moment later, a pair of pure white wings burst through the shell. Emerging from within was a girl clad in white, with massive wings on her back. "Honored Master, I am the Angel of Hope, born from the wishes of millions. From this day forth, I shall help you overcome every hardship." Though her stats showed she was only double S rank, her attributes weren't much stronger than an ordinary S rank stand. What made her terrifying was her skill Endless Vitality, which allowed other stands to unleash their powers without consuming energy. Moreover, any target under her blessing could burn additional energy to temporarily unleash power, exceeding their limits by 20%. Lu Tianshu sneered at the sight and immediately ordered the past sect leaders' projections to launch an all-out assault. Lin Luo simply smiled. No matter how mighty your Celestial Master sect is, compared to the hope of millions, you're digging your own grave. Go, Angel of Hope, grant your blessing to Kagaya. Radiating a blinding light, the Angel of Hope activated Endless Vitality. As the energy poured into her, Kagaya's body began to tremble violently. Kagaya shattered the Vajra binding curse restraining her. Her power surging higher and higher. In the next instant, she streaked forward like a meteor, rushing straight at Lu Tianshi. His two stands immediately unleashed their full power to intercept. Kaguya swung her blade, activating the skill Black Flame Barrier. Yet the barrier lasted barely 2.5 seconds before cracks split across its surface. Seeing this, Lu Tianshi sneered, thinking to himself that such a barrier was nothing impressive. But when the smoke cleared, Kaguya's figure had already vanished without a trace. A sharp sound split the air, followed by a cold voice from behind. "What are you looking at?" Realizing the danger, Lu Tianshi instantly cried out for aid. A torrent of water immediately wrapped around him. Guanyin Venerable's timely rescue caused Kaguya's fatal strike to miss its mark. As a massive whisk descended from above, the past sect leaders joined forces in a combined assault. Yet Kaguya's body suddenly turned phantom, her blade flashing as it cleaved the whisk clean in half. Seeing her charge straight for Lu Tianshi, two sect leaders quickly moved in front, blocking her advance. Witnessing this, Lin Luo gave a decisive order. "Lord of Wishes, Angel of Hope, I want Kaguya's blade to be unstoppable. Grant her the power to shatter everything beyond its limits." The Angel of Hope pushed endless vitality to its peak, while the Lord of Wishes raised his hand. "Master, your wish shall be fulfilled." Under their combined blessing, Kaguya unleashed unprecedented might, activating the skill graveyard of 100 blades. Countless pitch-black swords shot forth from a swirling vortex. The overwhelming storm of blades tore through the enemy, making the figures of several sect leaders begin to dissipate. Lu Tianshi felt the terrifying aura surging from Kaguya and instinctively thought of retreating. Sensing his intent, Lin Luo immediately ordered the succubus queen to unleash Pink Mirage. With a sharp bang, Lu Tianshi cursed inwardly as his body froze, locked in place. Lei Gong Zuns, still locked in combat with Kaguya, had no chance to intervene. "Green Demon, it's our turn now." At the critical moment, Guanyin Zuns activated Sacred due to rescue him. Lin Luo swiftly pulled back to safety. Glancing at the talisman in his hand, he smirked. "The Heavenly Master token is mine now." Lu Tianshi snapped out of the illusion, scanning around in panic. To his horror, the divine projections he had summoned were already fading away. Lin Luo raised the token coldly. "So, these projections were summoned with this, weren't they?" Realizing the truth, Lu Tianshi roared in fury, spitting curses and demanding the token's return. Lin Luo knew the future diary had predicted Lu Tianshi's escape, but with the token in his hands, his enemy's strength would be drastically cut. "Dream on. Kaguya, kill him." But Lu Tianshi suddenly pulled out a talisman. "I summoned Tianpeng Yuzhen Shiyuan Jinjuan, leader of the Four Saints of the North." Thunder shook the sky as a towering armored figure descended. Lin Luo's eyes narrowed. Lu Tianshi still had a hidden trump card, and this projection was stronger than the last. Tianpeng clasped his hands together, unleashing Yin-Yang Thunder Escape. Kaguya lunged for the finishing strike, but the blade once again slashed empty air. Rising skyward, Lu Tianshi left behind a vicious snarl. "Black Emperor, keep the token for now. I'll kill you myself and erase this humiliation." Lin Luo's tone went ice cold. "Lord of Wishes, lock onto his location." Guided by Kaguya, Lu Tianshi's position was exposed, hiding in an alley near the building's right wing. Lin Luo's eyes hardened. He would not allow his prey to escape. Meanwhile, Lu Tianshi was gasping for breath. The token was gone, and only 3 talismans remained for summoning Tianpeng. If he fought head-on again, he was doomed. His only options: call his master or beg Utaijia for aid. Too proud to bow his head, Lu Tianshi seethed with rage, regretting that he hadn't crushed Black Emperor from the start. Now, he chose to change his face and start over. But a strange sensation suddenly struck him. He yanked out 2 Heavenly Eye talismans to investigate. From several kilometers away, a figure was charging toward him at breakneck speed. It was Kaguya, the one who had nearly ended his life. Panic gripped Lu Tianshi. He had only one thought left: escape. He summoned Tianpeng once again. Under the cover of Inyang Thunder Escape, he and Lin Luo clashed in a deadly cat-and-mouse chase. Yet the Lord of Wishes tracking lagged behind his escape speed. Time and again, Lu Tianshi slipped away. He grew frustrated. How could the boy keep finding him no matter where he hid? Finally, he concluded, Black Emperor must have a tracking type stand. Though it was hard to believe someone could wield so many stands, fusion, control, and even tracking, the evidence was undeniable. Just then, a soldier interrupted his thoughts. The soldier explained that their S-rank awakeners had drained their energy fighting the Wormhole Guardian, and they begged Lu Tianshi for aid. Before he could answer, the strange feeling surged again. That boy was close. Lu Tianshi shoved the soldier aside and fled without a word. The soldier didn't force him, oblivious to the danger at his back. As the monster lunged in to kill, a blade flashed, carving it apart in an instant. In her fused form, Kagaya's power was terrifying. The beast disintegrated into dust. The soldier snapped out of his shock and shouted that more were coming. With a few sharp slashes, Swiftwind Blade chi tore through the swarm. The soldier's eyes widened at the display of power. He rushed to Lin Luo, admitting their weapons were useless against the swarm and begging him to save his squad. Out of respect, Lin Luo gave him a thumbs up. Since I'm here, you're safe now. But no sooner had he spoken than the void king worm roared, shaking the ground. The soldier recognized it instantly. It was summoning its kin. Clearly, this territory held more than one. Each ruled its own domain. Though awed by Lin Luo's might, the soldier knew a swarm would be nearly impossible to face. Lin Luo, however, remained unfazed. He told them to retreat quickly, for this battlefield now belonged to him. In the next instant, he unleashed Swiftwind Blade Chi, slashing straight at the Void King Worm.